Chapter 1078. Holy Treasure. This 9 Flood Dragon portrait should be a mid-grade holy treasure, and the key to subduing this 9 Flood Dragon portrait was the 9 soaring flood dragons in the sky. If he could make these 9 flood dragons recognize him as their master, he could subdue this 9 Flood Dragon portrait. After the God-Eater Brain's deduction, Yi Qinfeng understood the secret of the 9 Flood Dragon portrait. However, the 9 soaring flood dragons in the sky were very scary, and it was not easy to subdue them. Just as he was thinking of a way to subdue the 9 flood dragons, the old soul that was as powerful as Nirvana came back and ordered a large number of Zhou family souls to surround Yi Qinfeng. "Junior, you have guts. You dare to plot against my Zhou family's treasure." The old soul looked at Yi Qinfeng with murderous eyes and said with murderous intent, "This is what he told you, right? But do you really believe his identity?" Yi Qinfeng opened his eyes and said calmly. He had already expected this outcome. It would be abnormal if the plunder of the heavens didn't plot against him. "Humph! How can my Zhou family's bloodline be fake?" The old soul snorted and was completely convinced that the plunder of the heavens was a member of his Zhou family. If he got a small bottle of your Zhou family's disciple's blood and injected it into his blood, would it create the illusion that he had the Zhou family's bloodline? Yi Qinfeng said slowly, "I advise you to keep your eyes open. Don't be fooled by him and die with regrets." "Humph, you don't need to worry about this." The old soul's expression changed slightly, and his voice became even colder. "You only need to know that if an outsider comes here, only death will await." With that, the old soul exploded with shocking soul power, illuminating the dark space. A giant hand that could crush mountains fell from the sky and grabbed at Yi Qinfeng, wanting to crush him. Heavenly Sovereign Bloodline Ignition. Yi Qinfeng didn't hesitate to ignite his Heavenly Venerate bloodline. He drew in the power of the heavens and fused it into his body. The power of the heavens surged like a raging river, pushing his strength to rise steadily. Blue Sky Seal. Yi Qinfeng quickly formed hand seals with his hands. The 3 fused Tao Intense and the endless power of the heavens quickly fused together to form a green hand seal that seemed to contain the power of the heavens. With an insufferably arrogant attitude, it blasted towards the soul hand. Kathy. 2 attacks collided, creating a terrifying shockwave that swept through the heavens and earth. An earth-shattering explosion resounded throughout the entire 9 Flood Dragon diagram space. Amidst the intense repulsion, cracks began to appear on both the Soul Giant Hand and the Blue Sky Seal. As the cracks spread, the 2 giant hand seals suddenly exploded. "I didn't expect that you, a level 4 Beast Emperor, would be able to break through my attack. This is really surprising." The old soul's pupils shrank as he said in a chilling voice, "But in this place, the Zhou family is the master. No matter how powerful you are, you can't change your fate." As he spoke, a black hole appeared in the old soul's chest, swallowing a powerful devouring power. It swallowed the surging Yin Qi in the 9 Flood Dragon diagram and fused into his body, further increasing his strength. "Die." The old soul let out a roar as a large number of Tao inscriptions intertwined within his soul body. With the power of the mountains and rivers, they surged towards Yi Qinfeng. The terrifying power caused the entire space to tremble. Emperor's Celestial Sword. Yi Qinfeng didn't dodge. With a thought, the Emperor's Celestial Sword flew out. When he held the Emperor's Celestial Sword in his hand, a surge of sword aura gushed out from his body. As his sword swept across the sky, Tao Intense intertwined and power intertwined. The terrifying sword aura swept across the 9 heavens, and no one was a match for it. Qi. The Tao inscriptions intertwined by the old soul were broken apart by Yi Qinfeng's sword. The terrifying sword light pierced towards the old soul, wanting to pierce through him. Power of the Flood Dragon. At the crucial moment, the old soul summoned a Flood Dragon that soared in the void. Borrowing the power of this Flood Dragon, he blocked Yi Qinfeng's shocking sword. Vermilion Bird Cauldron, Gu Fanxing, suppressed the Flood Dragon. When the ferocious Flood Dragon roared and attacked, Yi Chunfeng summoned 2 Gu Dao treasures. Borrowing the power of the 2 treasures, he suppressed one of the flood dragons in the 9 flood dragon diagram. After being suppressed by the 2 Gu Dao treasures, the flood dragon of the 9 flood dragon diagram was enraged. It kept twisting its huge body and attacked the 2 Gu Dao treasures, knocking them away. Chaos Divine Wood. After the flood dragon knocked away the 2 Gu Dao treasures, the Chaos Divine Wood, which was emitting the light of chaos, flew out of Yi Chunfeng's body. The 5-colored treetops swayed and lashed towards the flood dragon. Howl! After being attacked by the Chaos Divine Wood, the flood dragon suddenly let out a painful roar. The drop of golden blood that was parasitic in the Chaos Divine Wood suddenly appeared. It shone with golden light and broke into the flood dragon's body, suppressing it in the blink of an eye. This sudden scene not only shocked the old soul, but also surprised Yi Chunfeng. Bound by blood. After a brief moment of surprise, Yi Chunfeng bit his finger and squeezed out a drop of blood essence and injected it into the flood dragon that was suppressed by the golden blood, easily making it recognize him as its master. How did you do it? Suddenly losing contact with the flood dragon, one of the artifact spirits, made the old soul look incredulous. He couldn't imagine that Yi Chunfeng, who was only a 4th-grade beast emperor, could subdue a flood dragon's spirit so easily. Yi Chunfeng ignored his question and flew into the void with the sword step. He wanted to use the mysterious drop of golden blood to subdue the remaining 8 flood dragon spirits one by one and obtain this powerful mid-grade saint artifact with its own space. Set up the eternal soul burning formation to trap him. Don't let him get close to the 8 flood dragon spirit. Seeing Yi Chunfeng fly into the void, the old soul's heart trembled. He immediately set up a terrible formation in the void with a large number of Zhou family's dead souls, trapping Yi Chunfeng in the formation before he could get close to the 8 flood dragon spirit. Anyone who touches the 9 flood dragon painting will be killed without mercy. The old soul roared with murderous intent. Activate the eternal soul burning formation, destroy the sky and extinguish the soul. Under the control of more than 1,000 powerful Zhou family's dead souls, who burned their souls at all costs, the eternal soul burning formation, which was covered with thousands of patterns, was activated. A large amount of soul power, like thousands of soldiers and horses, rushed from all directions and crazily attacked Yi Chunfeng, who was trapped in the formation. The Zhou family was worthy of being one of the overlords of the Central World. Their means were really terrifying. Feeling the horror of the eternal soul burning formation, Yi Chunfeng smelled the strong threat of death. He took away several treasures and hid in the universe realm without hesitation. Boom, boom, boom. The moment Yi Chunfeng hid in the universe realm, the whole space fell into a riot. A terrible soul power swept through the whole space, and the terrible power made the whole space dim. This power was so strong that, not to mention Yi Chunfeng, even the old monster Nirvana couldn't resist it. Her body would explode and die in an instant. However, the existence of the universe realm was even more powerful. It endured the attack of the eternal soul burning formation without the slightest effect. Where is he? How did he disappear? Feeling Yi Chunfeng's sudden disappearance, the old soul controlling the eternal soul burning formation showed a look of disbelief. He hurriedly searched and found the existence of the universe realm hidden in the void. Space treasure. He actually also has a space treasure. Discovering the universe realm, the old soul continued to burn his soul at all costs, controlling the eternal soul burning formation to attack. He was determined to shatter the universe realm and kill Yi Chunfeng. But the universe realm was impregnable, and the eternal soul burning formation couldn't break its defense. Gradually, the old soul and the others, who had exhausted their soul power, couldn't do as they wished. The power of the eternal soul burning formation decreased tremendously. Just as the elderly soul and company were in a difficult position and were about to be exhausted by the primordial soul incineration array, Yi Chunfeng suddenly left the universe realm. He wielded the Empyrean celestial sword, which had fused with the sword soul, and attacked the primordial soul incineration array. Under this sword attack, all the living beings in the world trembled. The eternal soul burning formation, whose power had decreased tremendously, was torn apart by his sword attack. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1079. Peng Yi Chinfeng merged with the sword soul and performed the one-line sword slash. The eternal soul incineration array was broken and hundreds of Zhou clan departed souls were instantly turned into ashes and dissipated in the void. After breaking the eternal soul incineration array with one slash, Yi Chinfeng did not continue to kill. Instead, he took the opportunity when the old soul was injured and flew towards the 9 Jiao dragon spirits that were soaring in the void. He wanted to use the drop of mysterious golden blood in the chaotic divine wood to subdue them one by one. Despicable Junior, don't you dare touch the Jiao dragon spirits. Seeing how easily Yi Chinfeng subdued a Jiao dragon spirit, the old soul was scared. He ignored the injuries on his body and attacked with all his might. He would never allow the Jiao dragon portrait that had been passed down for millions of years to be taken away by someone else. Chaotic divine wood, Marquis Qianming, come out quickly. When the old soul approached, Yi Chinfeng summoned the chaotic divine beast and the Marquis Qianming to stop the old soul. Roar. The chaotic divine beast roared, and the terrifying sound waves were like a long river that flowed endlessly. They bombarded the old soul's body and caused his soul to be covered in cracks. He was forced to retreat. Despicable. Who are you guys? Sensing that the chaotic divine beast and the Marquis Qianming's strength far exceeded his own, the old soul felt the seriousness of the situation and questioned loudly. It doesn't matter who we are. As for you, what's the point of living like a ghost? Why don't you ask your grandpa chaotic divine wood to send you into reincarnation? The chaotic divine beast said rudely. The Zhou clan members obeyed and set up the eternal soul incineration array to eliminate the enemy. Although the old soul's injuries were serious, he could not care too much at this moment. He quickly set up the eternal soul incineration array with the departed souls of the Zhou clan. He wanted to use the power of the array to incinerate the chaotic divine beast's soul. Ancient bronze coffin attack. When the Zhou family's soul-burning formation was being set up, the divine beast of chaos transformed into its most terrifying battle form. It took out the heavy ancient bronze coffin and unleashed a force of over 200 million kilograms. It stepped out of the coffin and attacked the ancient soul-burning formation that was quickly forming, not giving it a chance to form the formation. At this moment, the Marquis of Qianming also summoned the Gu Dao Treasure's demon snake seal. He condensed a thunder Dao diagram and attacked ferociously, shaking the ancient burning soul array that was continuously condensing and damaging the souls of the Zhou clan's departed souls. As the chaos divine beast, the Marquis of Qianming relied on his absolute strength to shake the eternal soul burning array. Yi Chinfeng approached the 8 roaring flood dragon spirits with his sword step. Chaos divine wood. While dodging the destructive attacks launched by the 8 flood dragon spirits, Yi Chinfeng summoned the chaos divine wood and controlled it to attack one of the flood dragon spirits. Buzz buzz. When the 5-colored crown of the chaos divine wood hit the Jiao dragon's spirit, the mysterious drop of blood emitted a golden bloodline light and entered the body of the Jiao dragon's spirit, easily suppressing it. Junior, don't be so arrogant. When Yi Chinfeng dripped his blood on the second Jiao dragon's spirit, the Zhou clan's ancestor, who was teaching the heaven-stealing divine art, tyrannical kick, couldn't hold back anymore. He roared angrily and appeared in the air with shocking soul power, charging towards Yi Chinfeng. The 9 Jiao dragon diagram was a saint treasure controlled by the Zhou clan's ancestor. Under his control, The remaining 7 Jiao dragon spirits exploded with unimaginable power. They twisted their huge bodies and attacked Yi Chunfeng. Sword step. Feeling the power of the 7 Jiao dragon spirits increase exponentially, Yi Chunfeng's expression changed slightly. He used sword steps and moved in the air, dodging the attack. Slowly fight. When both of you are injured, everything here, including the treasures on you, will be mine. The heaven-stealing divine art, tyrannical kick, looked at Yi Chunfeng, the Zhou clan's ancestor and the others who were fighting in the air. It revealed a sly expression and began to search for the place where the Zhou clan's ancestor stored the low-grade Saint Treasure ancient beast talisman. Over there, under heaven-stealing's powerful soul power, he sensed the power of the ancient beast talisman in the divine wood sarcophagus. His eyes flashed with light as he quickly approached the divine wood sarcophagus and saw the ancient beast talisman embedded in the mysterious sarcophagus. Little baby, obediently come to my hand. Heaven-stealing ignored the restriction in the divine wood sarcophagus. Mysterious light flowed in his right hand as if it had entered a mysterious space. It directly penetrated the restriction and grabbed the ancient beast talisman. The moment heaven-stealing grabbed the ancient beast talisman, the Zhou clan's ancestor who was controlling the 7 Jiao dragon spirits to attack immediately sensed it. His expression changed slightly as he looked at the smiling heaven-stealing divine art. He felt like he had been tricked. Damn it, you two despicable people! The Zhou clan's ancestor roared. He multitasked and controlled the ancient beast talisman to attack. Little baby, don't resist. It's useless. Obediently follow me. Heaven-stealing divine art was like a big bad wolf. His eyes shone with a sly light. Using a mysterious power in his body, he easily cut off the connection between the ancient beast talisman and the Zhou clan's ancestor and subdued it. What? Feeling that he had lost the connection with the ancient beast talisman, great waves surged in the Zhou clan's ancestor's heart. He didn't dare to believe what had happened today. What kind of monsters were these two? Zhou clan's progenitors' killing intent overflowed to the heavens. He knew that if he couldn't kill Yi Chen, Feng Diaotian, and the others today, the Zhou clan's 3 greatest treasures would change owners. His plan to defy the heavens and change fate would also be destroyed. I want all of you to die. The Zhou clan's ancestor roared furiously. His forehead suddenly split open and a vertical eye appeared. Black and white strands of light crisscrossed. The moment this strand of light appeared, Yi Chunfeng's sharp senses immediately sensed danger. Without even thinking, he immediately hid in the universe mirror. 1. The black and white light shone. A terrifying power directly tore open the tough space and created a hole in the space where Yi Chunfeng had just been. What kind of power was this? Seeing the Zhou clan's ancestor pierce through space, heaven-stealing divine art was so shocked that his eyeballs almost fell out. The sneer on his face stiffened and fear appeared in his heart. When the Zhou clan's ancestor used the black and white strand of light to kill the Chaos Divine Beast and the Marquis of Qianming, Yi Chunfeng had put them into the universe mirror in time and left heaven-stealing divine art outside. Heaven-stealing divine art, don't worry about us. We only have a way to escape. Quickly take the treasure and leave here. We will meet outside. In the next moment, Yi Chunfeng's voice suddenly sounded in the void and directly closed heaven-stealing divine art's path of no return. Damn it! Hearing Yi Chunfeng's voice, heaven-stealing divine art was like a wild cat whose tail had been stepped on. He stomped his feet in anger and cursed loudly. He didn't expect that he, who had schemed his entire life, would be schemed against one day. You are indeed in cahoot. Sensing that the bloodline power in heaven-stealing divine art had almost disappeared, the Zhou clan's ancestor knew that he had been deceived. He immediately controlled the 7 flood dragon spirits to attack him. The angry old soul also controlled the ancient soul burning formation to attack heaven-stealing divine art. He was determined to kill him and take back the ancient beast talisman. Feng Chen, just you wait. I won't let you go either. Facing the fierce attacks of the Zhou clan's ancestor and the others, Heaven's stealing divine art was about to cry. He continuously used methods to dodge. The blood in his body was violently surging from the waves of soul power. Today, I will make it impossible for you to escape. The Zhou clan's ancestor was furious and didn't give him a chance to escape. He completely sealed the space of the 9-flood dragon diagram and continuously controlled the black and white strands of light to attack him. At this moment, Yi Chunfeng, who was hiding in the universe mirror, revealed a smile. He was waiting for the best opportunity to continue suppressing the flood dragon spirits and seize the 9-flood dragon diagram. Mobile reading home, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the save button below to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1080. Thousand Shadow escape. Facing the overwhelming attacks, Plunder Heaven immediately used his divine ability and instantly created a large number of afterimages. He moved around in the chaotic void and quickly dodged. Eternal Soul Burning Array explode. Seeing Plunder Heaven's unpredictable speed, the Zhou clan souls were enraged. They didn't care about the price and detonated the Eternal Soul Burning Array. The explosive power was like a meteor landing. The entire space was lifted by this terrifying shockwave. Amidst this violent and howling storm, the numerous afterimages that Heaven Plucker had transformed into were shattered without end. He was even swept up within it, and he endured wave after wave of destructive attacks that were stronger than the previous. Plunder Heaven was like a lone boat. When he was traveling through this destructive storm, Zhou clan's ancestor suddenly appeared in front of him. He didn't care about the price and split open his forehead again. A large number of black and white light threads shot out. They penetrated through space and attacked Plunder Heaven. He was determined to kill him and take back the ancient beast talisman. He wanted to protect the cultivation chant of the Tyrant Foot. Heaven escaped. Facing the black and white light threads, Plunder Heaven didn't dodge. He was under great pressure and his injuries were worsening. Instead, he sped up to meet them. Just as the extremely destructive black and white light threads were about to pierce through his body, Plunder Heaven suddenly entered a mysterious trajectory and strangely disappeared into the void. He passed through the black and white light threads and appeared at the entrance of the 9-flood dragon diagram. What? Seeing Plunder Heaven pass through the black and white light threads, Zhou clan's ancestor's heart was in turmoil. He had lived for more than 10,000 years, but he had never seen or heard of such a divine ability. After using Heaven Escape to pass through the black and white light threads, Plunder Heaven's speed didn't decrease. He rushed towards the 9-flood dragon diagram that had already closed. He stirred up ripples in space and disappeared in the chaotic space of the 9-flood dragon diagram. When Plunder Heaven used his divine ability to pass through the space of the 9-flood dragon diagram, Yi Chunfeng left the universe realm and controlled the Chaos Divine Wood to attack a flood dragon spirit that was soaring in the void. With the help of the mysterious golden blood, he suppressed it again. Despicable! After failing to kill Plunder Heaven, Zhou clan's ancestor vented his anger on Yi Chunfeng. He wanted to kill him and not give him the chance to continue suppressing the flood dragon spirit. However, the Zhou clan souls were severely injured after detonating the Eternal Soul Burning Array. They couldn't form the array again, greatly reducing the pressure on Yi Chunfeng. Chaos, Marquis Qianming, quickly come out and help me with a thought. Yi Chunfeng summoned the Chaos Divine Beast, the Marquis of Qianming from the universe mirror. Together, they attacked the terrifyingly powerful Zhou clan progenitor. Spirit of the Flood Dragon, kill! Although the power of the black and white threads of light was heaven-defying, this power did not belong to the Zhou family's progenitor. Every time he used it, it would greatly consume his soul power, so he did not dare to use it carelessly. He could only mobilize the 6 flood dragon spirits to attack Yi Chenfeng. The Chaos Divine Wood and the Golden Blood continued to suppress. As the 6 murderous flood dragon spirits approached, Yi Chenfeng immediately summoned the Chaotic Divine Wood to attack one of the flood dragon spirits. With the help of the mysterious Golden Blood, he successfully suppressed another flood dragon spirit, greatly weakening the attack power of the Zhou family ancestor. How was this possible? What was the origin of this tree? It could actually suppress the flood dragon spirits so easily. As the owner of the 9 flood dragon diagram, the Zhou family ancestor knew how terrifying the flood dragon spirits were. Even Nirvana experts would find it difficult to subdue one. However, Yi Chenfeng, who was a rank 4 combat beast emperor, could easily sever the connection between him and the flood dragon spirits, suppressing and subduing them. This made him shocked at the power of the Chaos Divine Wood. Chaotic 5 elements light. While the Zhou family ancestor was shocked, the Chaos Divine Beast opened its mouth. A large amount of chaotic light shot out from its mouth, surging forward like a torrential river. Purple Beginnings Sacred Thunder. While the Zhou clan's ancestor was dodging the primal Chaos 5 elements light, a large amount of Purple Beginnings Divine Lightning shot out of Yi Chenfeng's body. They quickly merged together and formed a large net of lightning. It covered the Zhou clan's ancestor, wanting to trap him. Lightning was the nemesis of souls, and the Purple Beginnings Holy Lightning had reached the level of elementary Holy Lightning. It was extremely powerful. Even with the Zhou family ancestor's strength, he didn't dare to be easily trapped in the net. He had no choice but to open his forehead and use the power of the black and white threads to forcefully cut open the lightning net and escape. Chaos, do you know what those black and white threads are? Seeing the black and white threads easily cut open the Purple Beginnings Holy Lightning, Yi Chenfeng couldn't help but be shocked. He transmitted his voice to the Chaos Divine Beast that had inherited memories. I don't know either, I've never seen this kind of power before. However, I have a feeling that the power of these black and white threads might surpass the power of the Great Tao. The Chaos Divine Beast shook its head and said, surpassing the power of the Great Tao, could this be the power of the origin? After the Chaos Divine Beast's reminder, Yi Chenfeng suddenly remembered that when he fused with the memories of the God Eater's brain, he inadvertently learned that the power of the Great Tao was not the strongest power in the universe. There was a power that was above the power of the Great Tao, and that was the origin of all matter. The Zhou family ancestor wanted to change his fate. Could it be that he relied on this strand of origin? Yi Chenfeng suddenly guessed the secret of the Zhou family ancestor. He also understood why the Zhou family ancestor didn't turn to dust after being killed by the Heaven Realm Gate. He still had the power to set up all of this and hide in the Zhou family ruins to try to change his fate. Purple Lightning 9 strikes. When progenitor Zhou broke through the holy thunder of Purple Beginnings, the Marquis of Qianming formed the Thunder Dao diagram and used the power of the Dao diagram to cast the inherited abilities of the Qilin Divine Kingdom. Bolts of purple lightning as thick as water buckets broke through the air like howling snakes and continued to attack the body of progenitor Zhou. The spirits of the serpents blocked. With a thought from the Zhou family ancestor, the spirits of the 5 serpents flew over quickly. They circled around the Zhou family ancestor and blocked the Purple Lightning 9 strike. But at this time, the ancient bronze coffin in the hands of the Chaos Divine Beast smashed over. The power of over 100 million kilograms shook the spirits of the serpents and caused them to roar in pain. It brought great pressure to the Zhou family ancestor and consumed his soul power. Ancient Ming song. When the Zhou family ancestor used all his strength to block the attacks of the Marquis of Qianming and the Divine Beast, the power of the God-eating brain in Yi Chenfeng's mind exploded and formed large amounts of Dao patterns. It played out the ancient divine song that Hua Luyu gave him before she left. Instantly, the clear sound of the guqin flowed. It was ethereal and pleasant to listen to. It caused people to sink into the sound of the Tao and be unable to extricate themselves. When the Zhou family ancestor heard the ancient Ming song played out by Yi Chunfeng using the sound of the Tao, he was immediately affected. He felt as if he had lived through the passage of time, and his attack power decreased greatly. In the next moment, the melody of the ancient Ming song suddenly became hurried. It was filled with the killing intent of a golden horse and an iron spear. It stabbed into the soul body of the Zhou family ancestor and forcefully cracked his powerful soul body. Chaos Mountain body seizing the opportunity when the Zhou family ancestor was injured by the ancient Ming song, the Chaos Divine Beast jumped up high and increased its attack power by 50%. It was like a majestic mountain smashing down on the Zhou family ancestor's body, directly smashing him into the ground from mid-air. Family head seeing that the Zhou family ancestor was heavily injured by the Chaos Divine Beast, the Zhou family dead souls flew over without caring about their injuries. They formed the ancient soul burning formation at all costs to protect the severely injured Zhou family ancestor. They were prepared to fight to the death with Yi Chunfeng and the others. Mobile reading website, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark at the bottom to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1081. Now, can we have a good talk? Looking at the eternal soul burning array enveloping the Zhou family progenitor, Yi Chunfeng didn't attack to break the array. Watermark advertisement, test you thieves, the heavens will take care of you. Many of the Zhou clan's departed souls, who were unafraid of death, roared loudly. They glared at Yi Chunfeng furiously, wishing they could eat his flesh and drink his blood. Don't get too excited, listen to me. Feeling the eternal soul burning array getting stronger, the Zhou family dead souls wanted to fight for their lives. Yi Chunfeng wasn't afraid and said slowly, I found this place for your Zhou family's 3 great treasures. But I didn't expect that I would be schemed against before your dead souls dissipated. But I must have this 9-dragon portrait. If you are willing to give me the 9-dragon portrait, the dominating kick, and the original power, I can promise to do 3 things for your Zhou family. Who are you? Hearing Yi Chunfeng mention the original power, the Zhou family progenitor's pupils contracted. He looked at Yi Chunfeng deeply as if he wanted to see through him. He didn't expect Yi Chunfeng to see through his biggest secret. Who I am is not important. What is important is that you don't have a choice. Yi Chunfeng said proudly, with your current situation, defeat is only a matter of time. And it's not hard for me to take the 9-dragon portrait. What you really want is the secret on me. The Zhou family progenitor said. Yes, I am interested in the original power that you refined into your soul. I am willing to trade for it with 3 things. Yi Chunfeng nodded his head and said very calmly. With your power, what can you do for my Zhou family? The old soul in control of the eternal soul burning array snorted and said with hostility. As long as it doesn't go against my conscience, I will do it for you. But I can't guarantee the time. Yi Chunfeng said slowly with great confidence in his voice. Who do you think you are? The old soul of the divine nation's divine emperor sneered. What? Do you think you still have the ability to bargain with me? Even if you fight to the death, the outcome will be the same. Aside from not being able to obtain the divine ability Tyrant Foot, I can still obtain the 2 great treasures that interest me the most. Also, not everyone is qualified for me to owe them a favor. You guys can think about your choice. After speaking, Yi Chunfeng floated in the air in silence, waiting for the Zhou family progenitor's choice and pondering how to obtain that strand of origin power. Patriarch, don't believe him. He and that person just now are all liars. Once they have swindled everything away from our Zhou clan, they will not care about our lives. The old soul looked at the Zhou family progenitor, who was deep in thought, and said loudly, Before I make my choice, can you tell me who you are? I can't just give my Zhou clan's treasure to a stranger of unknown origin for no reason. The progenitor of the Zhou family raised his head slightly, his eyes shining with blinding bloody light as he stared at Yi Chunfeng. I just came to the Central World, and can be considered half a disciple of the Star King. This time, I came to the Central World to prepare to rebuild the human race's top-level heritage, Yi Chunfeng slowly said. Star King rebuilding the human race's top-level heritage. As a peak character from several tens of thousands of years ago, the Zhou family progenitor had heard of the Star King's great name and knew that he had the same grand ambition as him. He also knew that the Star King suffered the same fate as him, suffering a tragic accident when tearing open the gate to the Heaven Realm. What proof do you have to prove that you are half a disciple of the Star King? The Zhou family progenitor pondered for a moment and asked, Is this Star King token okay? Yi Chunfeng took out the Star King token given to him by the avatar of the Star King and said, Junior, do you know how difficult it is to rebuild the human race's top-level heritage? In the countless years of history of the Central World, countless human ancestors wanted to build the human race's top-level heritage to fight against the 3 foreign races, but they all failed in the end. The Zhou family progenitor glanced at the Star King token in Yi Chunfeng's hand and felt the unique power inside. I know, but I won't give up. Yi Chunfeng nodded and said with a resolute tone, Junior, although I don't know your true thoughts, your thoughts are worthy of admiration. However, no matter how amazing and heaven-defying you are, you won't be able to shake the foundation of the 3 divine nations. The Zhou family progenitor's tone softened a lot, because shaking the foundation of the 3 divine nations was the same as angering the Heaven Realm, the Devil Realm, and the Monster Realm. It would lead to their revenge, right? Yi Chunfeng knew many secrets of the Duhan continent through the Star King and Luoshan. I didn't expect you to know so many things. The Zhou family progenitor was a little surprised. This is what Senior Luoshan told me. Yi Chunfeng said intentionally. Luoshan, you know Senior Luoshan? After hearing Yi Chunfeng mention Luoshan's name, the Zhou family progenitor's heart was in turmoil. He looked at Yi Chunfeng in disbelief. Yes, when I was wandering the Xingluo continent, I met Senior Luoshan by chance. With her help, I destroyed the celestial race's heritage on the Xingluo continent. Yi Chunfeng nodded and explained, purposely describing Luoshan's appearance. You really destroyed the celestial race's heritage on the Xingluo continent? The Zhou family progenitor gasped. That's right, I have another identity now, the Lord of Xingluo Heavenly City. This Xingluo Heavenly City was built by the celestial race. Yi Chunfeng nodded. Miracle, it's really a miracle. Senior Luoshan actually helped you destroy the celestial race's heritage on the Xingluo continent. Could it be that the opportunity has appeared? The Zhou family progenitor fell into deep thought. Junior, although I don't know how much of what you said is true and how much is false, but what you said just now is right. With our current situation, we really don't have the right to choose. The Zhou family progenitor took a deep breath and said, I can give you the 9-serpent dragon diagram and the supernatural power tyrant leg. And if you can subdue this strand of life and death origin that I obtained, I can also give it to you. But the 3 things you promised must be completed, and you must swear by the Tao of Heaven. Okay. The Zhou family progenitor compromised. Yi Chunfeng showed a faint smile and happily agreed. The reason he exposed so many secrets was because of the strand of life and death origin that the Zhou family progenitor refined on his forehead. If he forcefully took it and forced the Zhou family progenitor into a desperate situation, he would most likely detonate this strand of origin power. At that time, he would lose this most precious opportunity. First, avenge my Zhou family. Second, find the bloodline of my Zhou family outside and form a good relationship with them. Third, if you really do establish a top human heritage in the Central World one day, I hope you can help my Zhou family rise again. The Zhou family progenitor said. I wonder if your enemy is Yi Chunfeng. Slightly frowned and hesitated before asking. Heaven race, as long as you destroy the heaven race heritage on the Duhan continent, it will be considered as avenging me and my Zhou family. Senior, is the heaven realm gate in the hands of the heaven race? Yi Chunfeng slightly raised his brows and asked. Yes, the heaven realm gate on the Duhan continent was sealed by the heaven race. Even the people of the three divine kingdoms can't ascend. The Zhou family progenitor nodded and said, Right now, the martial artists on the Duhan continent can only use the heaven realm gate to cultivate the nirvana realm and increase their lifespan. Can't even ascend? Yi Chunfeng's heart was in turmoil. He didn't expect the situation to be so serious. Don't even think about ascending to the heaven realm. But if Luotian Senior is willing to help, you do have a chance to rebuild the fourth divine kingdom. The Zhou family progenitor said slowly, Okay, I have mentioned the three conditions. Do you agree? Okay, I agree. Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath and said solemnly, But I can't set a time. I won't set a time limit. I only want result. The Zhou family progenitor shook his head and said, Now make the vow. As long as you make the vow, I will give you everything you want. Although the three conditions of the Zhou clan's ancestor seemed impossible to fulfill, these three conditions did not conflict with Yi Chunfeng's purpose in coming to the central world. Thus, he did not hesitate to swear an oath to the heavenly Tao. I hope you can succeed. Then my Zhou family can rise again. With that, the Zhou family progenitor tore open his own head at all costs. He drew out the life and death essence that could make the heaven realm's supreme beings go crazy and gave it to Yi Chunfeng. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read next time, you can click the Save button at the bottom to record this reading. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1082. Junior, I acquired this life and death quintessence from the number 1 danger zone of the central world, Sky Beyond. However, this life and death quintessence is simply too profound. I spent my entire life trying to understand it, but when I was attacked by the Celestial Gate, this strand of life and death quintessence helped me block the majority of the attack. Without this quintessence, I would have been turned to dust long ago. Zhou clan ancestor healed his broken head and said weakly, Senior, where is Sky Beyond? Knowing that Sky Beyond even had the life and death origin, Yi Chunfeng was very interested in this most dangerous place in the central world. Rumor has it that Sky Beyond is a passage to the Sky Realm. Rumor has it that Sky Beyond is a cave residence of a great figure. But the most common rumor is that Sky Beyond is a dojo left by a great figure in the soul-fighting continent. But after so many years, no one has found out the truth. Zhou clan ancestor said slowly. Yi Chunfeng raised his eyebrows and thought of the Sky Realm. He thought for a moment and asked, Senior, did you go deep into Sky Beyond back then? The Sky Beyond Sky is very mysterious. With my power back then, I only entered the outer area of the Sky Beyond Sky. This life and death origin was also obtained by me in the outer area of the Sky Beyond Sky. The Zhou ancestor said, Okay, try and see if you can subdue this life and death origin. Okay. Yi Chunfeng nodded and did not ask any more questions. He summoned the Chaos Divine Wood and controlled it to suppress the black and white life and death origins. Buzz. Under the suppression of the Chaos Divine Wood, the strand of origin of life and death immediately shone with the black and white light of life and death. A strand of origin of life and death that surpassed the power of the Great Way seeped out, resisting the suppression of the Chaos Divine Wood. Ripples spread out in all directions. Family leader, do you think he can subdue the life and death origin? The old soul knew that with Zhou clan ancestors' power back then, it took him countless years to subdue this life and death origin and refine it into his body. Yi Chunfeng's power was far inferior to Zhou clan ancestors, so the old soul felt that he couldn't subdue this life and death origin. It's hard to say. This kid has a lot of secrets. Maybe he can create a miracle. Progenitor Zhou looked closely at Yi Chunfeng. Only when Yi Chunfeng's performance was heaven-defying and strong enough would he have the possibility of going against the heavens. Just as the pressure from the primal chaos divine would grew stronger and stronger, as if it could no longer suppress the origin of life and death, the mysterious drop of golden blood that was not under Yi Chunfeng's control appeared again and slammed into the origin of life and death. The moment the golden blood collided with the life and death essence, an unimaginable force erupted, tearing apart the impregnable nine-flood dragon diagram space and forcing Yi Chunfeng and the others back. When the destructive power that tore through the nine-flood dragon diagram's space slowly disappeared, the life and death source calmed down, suppressed by the mysterious golden blood. Heavens, whose blood was that? It could even suppress the source of life and death. He had studied the life and death source for countless years. Zhou family's progenitor knew how terrifying the life and death source was. He could not imagine that a single drop of blood could suppress the life and death source. Sword-spirit fusion. When the mysterious golden blood suppressed the life and death source, Yi Chunfeng did not take the risk of refining the life and death source into his body. Instead, he summoned his sword spirit and controlled it to fuse with the life and death source that was more valuable than the heavenly Tao. Sword spirit, he had actually cultivated a sword spirit. The hearts of Zhou family's progenitor and the others trembled again. They discovered that Yi Chunfeng was far more outstanding than they had imagined. As expected of the person chosen by Luotian Sr., perhaps he really could be the turning point to change the fate of the human race. With his help, there was hope for the Zhou family to rise again. Zhou family's progenitor was pleasantly surprised, and the hostility he felt towards Yi Chunfeng disappeared. Although the sword spirit was strong, the life and death source was an existence that surpassed the great Tao. When the sword spirit forcibly fused with the life and death source, cracks appeared on the powerful sword spirit body. God-devouring brain, repair sword spirit. As more and more cracks appeared on the sword spirit, Yi Chunfeng controlled the God-devouring brain to quickly deduce, releasing powerful soul force into the shattered sword spirit, forcibly repairing the cracks. Soul-nurturing wood fuse. The life and death source was too powerful. Even with the help of the God-devouring brain, the sword spirit still couldn't fuse with the life and death source. At this time, Yi Chunfeng took out the soul-nurturing wood. He multitasked and spat out the death flame heavenly fire to refine the soul-nurturing wood and its most precious tree heart. He refined a large amount of pure liquid and fused it into the sword spirit, increasing its power. The soul-nurturing wood was a top-grade spirit item for nurturing the soul in this world, and the soul-nurturing wood heart was even more precious. After fusing with the death flame heavenly fire, the cracks on the surface of the sword spirit quickly healed. Finally, under the continuous repair of the soul-nurturing wood and the God-devouring brain, the sword spirit finally fused with the life and death source. It continued to transform, and the color of the sword spirit gradually turned bronze. The power of the sword spirit also increased by more than 10 times. Bronze sword spirit, it was actually a bronze sword spirit. Witnessing the transformation of the sword spirit, Zhou family's progenitor and the others were in great shock. A sword spirit was already very rare, let alone an evolved bronze sword spirit. It could be said that a bronze sword spirit was equivalent to a spirit-level Tao diagram and could only be seen in the heaven domain. Miracle, this child has so many miracles. Our human race, our Zhou family, has hope. When the Zhou family progenitor saw this scene, his calm face showed excitement. Although Yi Chunfeng's cultivation level hasn't reached the peak of the Duhan continent yet, he believed that if Yi Chunfeng had enough time and space to grow, he would definitely be able to stand at the top of the Duhan continent. Junior, can you tell me your name? Zhou family's progenitor suppressed his excitement and asked. Yi Chunfeng. Yi Chunfeng withdrew the bronze sword spirit back into his soul. He let out a long sigh of relief as he spoke in a tone that was neither haughty nor humble. I finally understand why the Star Emperor and Luotian Senior chose you. You do have the power to change the fate of our human race. Zhou family's progenitor said with gratification, Now, I will teach you the #1 superpower of our Zhou family, dominating foot, to form a good relationship. Don't worry, Senior, since I swear by the heavenly Tao, I will do my best to fulfill the 3 promises. Yi Chunfeng nodded and promised in front of everyone. Good, good, now I believe you have the ability. Zhou family's progenitor nodded and taught Yi Chunfeng the low-grade saint-level superpower, dominating foot. Qingfeng, this 9-dragon scroll is also yours. We will give you everything of our Zhou family, and we can go without worry. With that, Zhou family's progenitor forcibly removed the connection with the 9-dragon scroll and gave the #1 treasure of the Zhou family, the mid-grade saint-level 9-dragon scroll, to Yi Chunfeng. Without the protection of the 9-dragon scroll, they would not be able to survive in this world and would turn into ashes sooner or later. Senior, falling into the reincarnation cycle is not eternal death. Perhaps in the near future you can reincarnate and return to the Duhan continent. Then you can drip blood on the 9-dragon scroll and take it into your body. Yi Chunfeng said gratefully, Let me play a song and send you all into the reincarnation cycle. Okay, thank you. Zhou family's progenitor led the souls of the Zhou family and bowed deeply to Yi Chunfeng. Although Yi Chunfeng's appearance broke Zhou family's progenitor's plan to change his fate, he knew how difficult it was to do so. Even if he completely understood the origin of life and death, it was still difficult to do so. But Yi Chunfeng gave the Zhou family a chance to rise again and changed the fate of the human race. Not only did he not hate Yi Chunfeng, but he was grateful to him. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Under the God-eating brain's rapid deduction, the ancient Ming song sounded again. It was sometimes bold, sometimes bright, sometimes gentle, and intoxicating. In the next moment, Zhou family's progenitor and the others self-destructed their souls and disappeared with the ancient Ming song. Mobile reading website, book address. In order to make it easier for you to read next time, you can click Save at the bottom to record this reading. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1083. Senior, don't worry, I will definitely do what I promised you. Watermark advertisement test. The watermark advertisement test will definitely destroy the inheritance of the 3 great foreign races in the central world, break the shackles of the heaven realm's door, shatter the foreign race's conspiracy, and allow the Zhou clan to rise again. Yi Chunfeng bowed deeply 3 times in the direction of the Zhou clan's ancestor's soul, and said solemnly. When Yi Chunfeng spent a lot of effort to leave the Zhou clan's old residence that was built thousands of miles below the ground, he frowned slightly when he sensed the aura of the outside world. He actually hasn't left yet. Yi Chunfeng's soul was extremely powerful, and he sensed a familiar aura above. Although this aura was deliberately changed, Yi Chunfeng could still sense that the person outside was definitely plotting against him. Besides Heaven Planner, Yi Chunfeng also sensed the aura of several people with extraordinary strength. Obviously, the appearance of these people was related to Heaven Planner. Little thief, when I catch you, I will definitely beat your ass and let you know the consequences of plotting against me. Yi Chunfeng gnashed his teeth and said. For the sake of caution, Yi Chunfeng controlled the illusion Dao insight to transform his appearance, broke through the thick ground, and appeared outside. Heaven Planner. He is a Heaven Planner who steals old things and likes to dig up graves. If I'm not wrong, the Zhou clan's ancestral grave has already been dug up by him, and the Zhou clan's precious treasures have also been stolen by him. A seemingly senile old man with snow-white hair and holding an ancient wooden cane pointed at Yi Chunfeng in the distance and said angrily, Heaven Planner, you're quite bold. After plotting against me, you didn't run and even dared to bring people to continue plotting against me. Do you really think I can't catch you? Although Heaven Plunder's appearance had changed tremendously, Yi Chunfeng was able to recognize that this old man was Heaven Plunderer in disguise the moment he laid eyes on him. Shameless kid, all of I's belongings have been stolen by you, and even the golden underwear is gone. You still dare to make a false accusation. Even if I become a ghost, I will not let you off. The white-haired old man was so angry that he was fuming with rage, and his entire body was trembling as he shouted loudly. He had a posture of going up to fight with his life. Sky Stealer, give yourself up. 3 experts dressed in bailiff uniforms with cold iron chains wrapped around their arms roared angrily and rushed towards Yi Chunfeng, wanting to capture him together. You idiots, you still don't know that you've been tricked by him. Yi Chunfeng's body flashed slightly, dodging the attacks of the 3 bailiffs, and said angrily, "He is the real sky thief, you've been used by him. Right or wrong, we'll know when we catch you." As he spoke, the 3 constables controlled the cold iron chains wrapped around their arms, sealing off the entire space and binding Yi Chunfeng. Sword step. As the 3 cold iron chains approached, Yi Chunfeng immediately took a step forward. A terrifying sword diagram suddenly appeared. Streaks of sharp sword Dao patterns shot out and shattered the 3 cold iron chains with incomparable sharpness. Rumble. Suddenly, a series of rumbles echoed from the horizon. A huge hand with innate Dao patterns on it descended from the sky and grabbed at Yi Chunfeng with overwhelming force. 7 Sword of Judgment. Sky-shattering. Yi Chunfeng waved his arm, and a sword light that looked like a spatial crack shot up into the sky. The terrifying sword Dao power was vast and boundless, and it split open the Dao intent hand. In the next moment, a man in a dark red robe, with sharp eyes like lightning and an obvious scar at the corner of his left eye, and his power level was at level 6 combat beast Emperor realm, stepped into the void and arrived. Gui Zhuifeng, who would have thought that he would be attracted here as well. Seeing the red-robed man appear like thunder, Sky Stealer immediately recognized him. He was the 2nd Super Constable of 9 Heavens God Kingdom, Gui Zhuifeng, who was known as the 1,000-mile Wind Chaser. Gui Zhuifeng appeared and struck out a palm at Yi Chunfeng again. The terrifying palm light intertwined with innate Dao patterns isolated the space and completely enveloped Yi Chunfeng. The heavenly Dao was merciless. Yi Chunfeng's pupils constricted. More than 40 heavenly Dao inscriptions shot out, transforming into a terrifying heavenly Dao might that churned the void and destroyed space, once again shattering Gui Zhuifeng's attack. Sky Stealer, you are indeed quite capable. Gui Zhuifeng executed a strange footwork and raised his speed to the peak. He instantly transformed into a large number of speed afterimages and surrounded Yi Chunfeng in the middle, launching attacks at him together. Sound of Great Tao. The God-Eater brain rapidly deduced, forming the sound of the Great Tao that sounded like a powerful army. Like an erupting volcano, it burst forth in Yi Chunfeng's mind, directly shattering the afterimages of Gui Zhuifeng's speed and injuring the souls of the 3 condors who were close to him. A large amount of blood flowed out of their 7 orifices. You guys have fun, I'm leaving. Seeing that Gui Zhuifeng and the others were unable to injure Yi Chunfeng, Sky Stealer didn't stay for long. His body flashed and quickly left. Where are you going? Yi Chunfeng's soul had been locked onto Sky Stealer. The moment Sky Stealer left, Yi Chunfeng let out a roar and activated his Dao intent. He executed the sky-rending hand, wanting to grab Sky Stealer. You want to catch me? Try again in your next life. Sky Stealer revealed a trace of disdain. His high-speed body instantly transformed into over 1,000 afterimages and deceived Yi Chunfeng as he calmly escaped. Soul-chasing chain. While Yi Chunfeng was obstructing Sky Stealer, Gui Zhuifeng summoned a pitch-black chain covered with ancient runes. It flickered in the void and coiled towards Yi Chunfeng. The reason why Gui Zhuifeng was able to become the 2nd Super Constable of the 9 Heavens Divine Kingdom was greatly related to this soul-chasing chain that was close to a high-grade Dao artifact in terms of hardness. It was very difficult for anyone who was bound by the soul-chasing chain to break free. Sky Stealer, you shouldn't have stolen Princess Mingyue's things. Obediently follow me back to see the princess. After controlling the soul-chasing chain to bind Yi Chunfeng, Gui Zhuifeng revealed an unfathomable smile and scolded. You bunch of idiots can't even tell who is the Sky Stealer. I really don't know what the Nine Heavens Divine Kingdom is raising you guys for. Yi Chunfeng said in annoyance. As he spoke, a powerful force erupted from his body, breaking free from the binding of the soul-chasing chain. Audacious! You still dare to be so stubborn even in the face of death. If it wasn't for the princess asking to see you, your offense of offending us is enough for me to execute you on the spot. Gui Zhuifeng's face sank as he scolded loudly. Bronze Sword Soul Yi Chunfeng erupted with a force of 80 million jin, but still couldn't break free from the soul-chasing chain. He immediately fused the Bronze Sword Soul into his arm and slashed at the soul-chasing chain. Under the attack of the Bronze Sword Soul, the soul-chasing chain that was close to a high-grade Tao artifact immediately cracked. Audacious! Seeing the soul-chasing chain crack, Gui Zhuifeng raised his eyebrows as a huge wave surged in his heart. He immediately attacked Yi Chunfeng with the other 3 super constables, wanting to severely injure and capture him. Break! Yi Chunfeng roared as the Bronze Sword Soul directly broke the soul-chasing chain. At the next moment, Yi Chunfeng's arm slashed through the void as the Bronze Sword Soul's power erupted. One sword split the void and one sword shook the soul. A bronze sword scar appeared in the void as it tore through the attacks of Gui Zhuifeng and the others like a hot knife through butter, cleaving into their bodies. Not good. Gui Zhuifeng didn't expect Yi Chunfeng to use his hand as a sword and slash out such a terrifying sword beam. His soul trembled as he immediately took out 2 defensive trump cards to block the attack. However, after the Bronze Sword Soul evolved, its power was even more terrifying. The Bronze Sword Soul directly tore through the 2 defensive treasures and slashed at the pale-faced Gui Zhuifeng, sending him flying. If not for the fact that Yi Chunfeng didn't want to kill the innocent, this sword strike would have been enough to instantly kill Gui Zhuifeng and the others. I advise you not to provoke me again, or don't blame me for killing you, Yi Chunfeng warned coldly. Then, under the horrified gazes of Gui Zhuifeng and the others, he flew away. Mobile Reading Home, Book Address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1084. Tianyuan City was a medium-sized city within the Nine Heavens Divine Kingdom's territory. It was located at the foot of a boundless spirit mountain. Although Tianyuan City was not large, there were many people going in and out of Tianyuan City every day. Alchemists could be seen everywhere. The reason why alchemists were so fond of Tianyuan City was because there were many heaven and earth spirit grasses that could be used in medicine growing in the spirit mountains around Tianyuan City. This made Tianyuan City a famous hub city at the edge of Nine Heavens Divine Kingdom. Why are there so many people in front? When Yi Chunfeng, who had regained his true appearance and was wearing a long white robe, arrived at the foot of Tianyuan City, which was several hundred feet high, he found many people gathered together and whispered to each other. Wanted posters. When Yi Chunfeng slowly walked over, he found 8 wanted posters at the foot of the city wall. One of them was his disguise from not long ago. Sky Plucker, a notorious thief. He dug up graves, swindled people, stole women, and committed all kinds of crimes. If anyone could provide information about Sky Plucker, they would be rewarded with 1 million high-grade soul crystals. If anyone could capture Sky Plucker, they would be rewarded with 10 million high-grade soul crystals and a mid-grade Tao tool. Looking at the rewards on the wanted posters, Yi Chunfeng revealed a faint smile. He thought to himself, this Nine Heavens Divine Kingdom is too stingy. With Sky Plucker's unfathomable methods, this little reward isn't enough to make up for his value. It would be better to increase it by 10 times. Yi Chunfeng glanced at the wanted posters on the city wall and walked into the noisy Tianyuan city. He planned to rest here for a few days to refine the 9-flood dragon portrait and comprehend the tyrant leg before leaving. He wanted to find Heaven Pavilion to ask about the 3 main ingredients for the Heavenly Saint breaking pellet. Yi Chunfeng walked along the ancient roads of Tianyuan City. As he admired the unique ancient streets of Tianyuan City and looked for a place to stay, a carriage passed by him. In this carriage, besides the faint fragrance of herbs, he also smelled a trace of blood. 4-star alchemist Yi Chunfeng saw a dark golden token hanging on the carriage. The token was engraved with 4 stars and a medicine furnace. Yi Chunfeng's eyes lit up and he couldn't help but take a few more glances at the carriage. There were many alchemists in Tianyuan City, but 4-star alchemists were very rare. Yi Chunfeng guessed that this carriage was most likely from Heaven Pavilion, which he had been searching for. What a coincidence! When Yi Chunfeng arrived at the largest inn in Tianyuan City, he found the carriage he just saw. The corners of his lips curled up, he walked in. Although Yi Chunfeng wanted to make friends with the people of Heaven Pavilion, he was not reckless. He spent hundreds of high-grade soul crystals to rent a secluded room to rest. The night passed quickly. After a night of refining, Yi Chunfeng had completely recognized the 9-serpent dragon portrait. He nurtured it in his heart and used his life flame to refine it. Although the 9-serpent dragon portrait was far inferior to the 9-dragon jade annulus, with Yi Chunfeng's current strength, he could basically use 1/3 of the 9-serpent dragon portrait's power. Moreover, using the 9-serpent dragon portrait would not exhaust his soul force like using the 9-dragon jade annulus. It could be said that the 9-serpent dragon portrait was more useful to the current Yi Chunfeng. With the 9-serpent dragon portrait, even if he faced an ordinary nirvana expert, he would have the ability to kill them. At dawn, after a night of refining, Yi Chunfeng took a bath and changed his clothes. He left the room. He wanted to take a stroll around Tianyuan City and look for treasures. When Yi Chunfeng walked to the main hall of the inn, he was stunned. A beautiful woman in a lake green dress entered his eyes. She was a peerless beauty, and she was as beautiful as a fairy. And what a beautiful girl! Yi Chunfeng had seen too many beautiful women, but when he saw the woman in front of him, his eyes couldn't help but light up. Especially her intoxicating beauty and temperament, it was even more captivating, making him unable to extricate himself. When Yi Chunfeng looked at her from afar, he found that her clear and seductive eyes were very similar to Yunichang's. In addition to this woman's breathtaking appearance, and her eyes that were very similar to Yunichang's attracted Yi Chunfeng, the 4-star emblem hanging on her left chest also attracted his attention. So she is the 4-star alchemist, Yi Chunfeng muttered to himself. Beside this beautiful woman stood a white-haired old man with a slightly pale complexion, as well as a burly middle-aged man in golden armor who exuded a faint smell of blood. At this time, the golden-armored man was talking with 5 combat beast emperors with extraordinary strength. As long as the 5 of you can safely escort us to the vast celestial city, we are willing to give each of you 1 million high-grade soul crystals as a reward. The golden-armored man said in a deep voice. The vast celestial city is quite far away. With the dragon horse's speed, it will take at least 5 days. And there are many dangers along the way, so the escort price must be worth our efforts. How about this? On the basis of 1 million high-grade soul crystals, we will add a great Tao pill for each of you. I think your Heaven Pavilion will not be stingy with a great Tao pill. A 4th-grade combat beast emperor wearing a dark gray robe with long hair draped over his shoulders and holding a snakeskin scabbard in his arms hid the burning desire in his eyes as he bargained. Well, I promise you, as long as you escort us safely to the vast celestial city, in addition to 1 million high-grade soul crystals as a reward, I will also give each of you a great Tao pill. The stunning woman spoke, her voice as pleasant as the chirping of an oriole. Do you still need someone to escort you? Hearing the conversation between these people, Yi Chunfeng showed a trace of interest and slowly walked over to ask. There are enough escorts, you can go. The gray-robed man glared at Yi Chunfeng with sharp eyes and refused coldly. The employer did not speak. Why are you in such a hurry? Yi Chunfeng smiled faintly and looked at the beautiful woman. One more person, one more share of strength. And I happen to want to go to the vast celestial city. I can escort you, as long as the reward is the same as theirs. I wonder how strong your excellency is? The stunning woman took a deep look at Yi Chunfeng and asked in a pleasant voice. A little stronger than him. Yi Chunfeng deliberately pointed to the gray-robed man who was full of hostility. Courting death. Hearing Yi Chunfeng deliberately targeting him, the gray-robed man suddenly became angry. With a harsh sword sound, he grabbed the hilt of the sword and was about to attack. However, Yi Chunfeng was even faster. He quickly threw out a palm strike and hit the scabbard in his arms. The palm strike knocked him back a few meters, causing his qi and blood to churn. It was so uncomfortable that he almost vomited blood. Good skill, your excellency is hired. The escort reward is the same as the 5 of them. After witnessing Yi Chunfeng's strength that forced the gray-robed man back with one palm strike, the beautiful woman exchanged a few words with the white-haired old man via voice transmission. Thank you, Yi Chunfeng smiled and said lightly. Well, you 6 get ready. After 2 hours, we will gather outside the city and go to the vast celestial city. The golden-armored man took a deep look at Yi Chunfeng and said loudly. Damn it, just you wait, I will never let you go. Being shaken back by Yi Chunfeng's palm, the gray-robed man, who lost face, glared at Yi Chunfeng, who turned around and left, and swore in his heart. Mobile reading site, book address. In order to facilitate the next reading, you can click on the save at the bottom to record this reading record. The next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends. QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1085. Alright, everyone is here. Let's go. 2 hours later, everyone gathered outside Tianyuan City, escorting the beautiful woman and her group to Wangtian City. Watermark advertisement test. Watermark advertisement test. Seeing the beautiful woman change her carriage, the 4-star Heavenly Pavilion token hanging on the carriage disappeared. This confirmed Yi Chunfeng's guess that they were in trouble. However, there was one thing that Yi Chunfeng couldn't figure out. Since they were in trouble, why didn't they just fly back to Wangtian City on their heavenly beasts? Could there be some mystery behind it? Yi Chunfeng, who was resting with his eyes closed, murmured to himself as he rode a majestic dragon horse with the blood of a flood dragon. Guardian Jean, this is not the right way. According to the map, this is not the best way to go to Wangtian City. After traveling for more than 2 hours, a man in a gray robe and holding a snakeskin sword looked at the map in his hand and said, You don't need to worry about what path to take. Guardian Jean, who was clad in golden armor, glared at him and said coldly. He took the lead and led the group to a remote forest path, ready to cross the mountains. It seemed that the road would not be peaceful. However, he could do a favor to Tiange and buy the 3 main ingredients for the heavenly saint breaking pellet through them. Yi Chunfeng, who was controlling the God-Eater brain to deduce the tyrannical kick, muttered to himself, Guardian Jean, where are you going? If you continue like this, I'm afraid you will have to travel 1/3 of the way. According to the map, we will pass by the Eagle Dove Mountain. There are many eagles living in the mountain, and there are many high-level heavenly beasts among them. If we enter without permission, I'm afraid we will be in danger. The gray-robed man rode the dragon horse to Guardian Jin's side and pointed at the map in his hand. I said, You don't need to worry about what path to take. What you need to do is to protect Mississippi. Guardian Jean glared at him and warned in a low voice. Of course, I know what I need to do. However, if you take a detour like this, it will waste a lot of our time and increase the danger. The gray-robed man looked into Guardian Jin's eyes and said, All right, let's stop arguing. How about this? Tonight, I'll open the furnace and refine 6 pseudo-Tao pills for everyone as compensation. A fair and tender hand gently lifted the white veil, revealing the beautiful face of a woman. Her melodious voice instantly extinguished the anger in everyone's hearts. Okay, although the gray-robed man and the others possessed extraordinary strength, they were still rogue cultivators in the end. Pseudo-Tao cores were also very precious to them. Hearing that there would be additional income, he suppressed the anger in his heart and no longer spoke. Master, do you think there's something wrong with the 6 of them? The stunning woman glanced at Yi Chunfeng's group of 6 with her beautiful eyes. She returned to the carriage and set up a soundproof restriction before asking. Although the gray-robed man talked a lot of nonsense, he should be fine. As for the other 5, it was hard to say. The white-robed old man with snow-white hair and slightly pale complexion exhaled a mouthful of turbid air. Waking up from his healing state, he said, "But this time we are really taking a risk. The people of the Young Sky Capital are truly despicable. If we can safely return to the vast Sky Capital, I will definitely not let them off," the stunning woman said somewhat angrily. "Sigh, we were too careless. I didn't expect that the people of the Young Sky Capital would be so deranged and wholeheartedly want to get rid of us for the sake of Tiange's advancement." The white-haired old man took a deep breath and said, "Master, how are your injuries? How much longer do you need to recover?" The stunning woman asked softly. "My injuries this time were quite severe. I estimate that I will need another 3 days to fully recover." The white-haired old man took a deep breath and replied. 3 days. Although 3 days was not a long time, they were in a dangerous situation. Anything could happen in 3 days, causing the stunning woman to be deeply worried. "Tonight, you will refine pills in front of everyone. First, we will test the 6 to see if there is anyone suspicious. After that, we will proceed with the next step of the plan. As long as the plan is executed properly, even if the people of the Young Sky Capital have 3 heads and 6 arms, they will not be able to stop us," the white-haired old man said. "Okay." The stunning woman nodded, a trace of ruthlessness appearing in her eyes. As night fell, darkness enveloped the entire mountain forest. Only the faintly discernible crescent moon shone through the clouds, shining bright moonlight. "Tonight, we will settle down here and rest." After receiving the transmission from the stunning woman, Protector Jean found a spacious mountain within the mountain forest to settle down and rest. Everyone has had a tough journey. In order to thank everyone for their hard work in escorting us, I will refine pills for everyone tonight. The stunning woman did not leave the carriage, but her clear voice could be heard from within. "Thank you for your trouble, Mississippi," the gray-robed man and the rest said joyfully, raising their heads in anticipation. "Protector Jean, protect me," the stunning woman instructed. She took out a dark green, 3-legged cauldron inlaid with the head of a beast and engraved with a large number of tool inscriptions. She spat out a dark green spiritual flame, igniting the cauldron. Then, she placed more than 10 stalks of high-quality medicinal herbs into the cauldron and began refining. The minimum requirement for alchemists in Tiange was to refine low-grade heavenly pills. However, alchemists who could refine low-grade heavenly pills were not qualified to wear a star emblem. Only alchemists who could refine mid-grade heavenly pills were qualified to wear a 1-star emblem, which represented their status. The stunning woman was a 4-star alchemist, which was enough to prove that she had the ability to refine pseudo-Tao pills. Under the refinement of the dark green cauldron and the spiritual flame, more than 10 stalks of spiritual herbs withered instantly, turning into a large amount of spiritual liquid. At this time, the stunning woman's soul burst forth and poured into the scalding cauldron. She controlled the dark green spiritual flame and purified the impurities in the spiritual liquid. What a powerful soul! Yi Chunfeng, who was sitting cross-legged on the ground and deducing the divine ability tyrannical kick, revealed a trace of surprise when he felt the stunning woman, who was a 3rd-grade beast emperor, suddenly burst out with a soul power comparable to a 5th-grade beast emperor. While the stunning woman was refining pills, the white-haired old man, who was healing with all his might, burst out with an even more powerful soul power. He went out of the carriage and observed everyone's expressions. The stunning woman's hands quickly moved, condensing one complex pill mark after another. When the pill mark melted into the scalding cauldron, a thick medicinal fragrance wafted out, causing anyone who smelled it to feel refreshed. It was about to condense the pills. As the medicinal fragrance drifting out of the carriage became stronger, everyone knew that this was the most crucial step. The spiritual liquid in the cauldron was about to start condensing into pills. Some people revealed a look of anticipation, while others revealed a gloomy expression. However, everyone's expressions were all captured by the white-haired old man, who analyzed their thoughts. Buzz. Following an ear-piercing buzzing sound, the stunning woman suddenly slapped the scalding cauldron. 6 high-quality pseudo-Tao pills flew out and opened the cauldron. She grabbed them in her hand. Not bad, not bad. These 6 pseudo-Tao pills are almost perfect. With your current strength and the amplification of the greenwood cauldron, you should be able to refine grand Tao pills. Looking at the 6 9-patterned pseudo-Tao pills in the stunning woman's hand, the white-haired old man revealed a gratified expression. Master, when I was refining pills, did you notice anything unusual? The stunning woman asked softly. Among the 6 people, 2 of them might have problems, but I am not sure. The remaining 4 are definitely fine. The white-haired old man's eyes revealed a trace of sternness. Master, when are we going to make a move? The stunning woman asked with a cold expression. You use these 6 pseudo-Tao pills to test them again. Tonight, we will put on a show and eliminate all the dangers. Then, we will leave on a flying heavenly beast. This way, we should have a chance to get rid of the danger. The white-haired old man said decisively. Good. The stunning woman nodded and adjusted her state of mind. She gently parted the curtain and elegantly walked out of the carriage. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1086. These are the pseudo-Tao pills that I have just refined. I will give them to you. The beautiful woman handed over the 6 pseudo-Tao cores that she had just refined to Protector Jean and said in a gentle voice. Thank you. The gray-robed man and others showed a trace of excitement, but Yi Chunfeng looked calm, neither happy nor sad. Well, not bad, there are no impurities in the elixir, and the temperature is just right. But when condensing the elixir, the girl must have held back, or she was distracted. Otherwise, the quality of this elixir should be perfect. Yi Chunfeng gently pinched the elixir, refined by the beautiful woman, and commented. As soon as Yi Chunfeng finished speaking, the white-haired old man and the beautiful woman's expression changed at the same time, especially the beautiful woman, who couldn't hide the chilling scene in her eyes. You are an alchemist? The beautiful woman took a deep breath, suppressed the murderous intent in her heart, and asked in a low voice. No. Yi Chunfeng shook his head and said, I am just interested in alchemy. You are too modest. You can see through Yen Er's mentality when she is refining elixir, which is not something that ordinary people can do. At this time, an old man in a white robe with white hair and a ruddy face walked out of the carriage and said, Which pavilion are you from, and what level of alchemist are you? I told you, I am not an alchemist. Yi Chunfeng shook his head and said, Since you don't want to say, then forget it. The white-haired old man took a deep look at Yi Chunfeng and said, Guardian Jean, go and hunt a wild animal. I want to eat meat. Yes. Protector Jean obeyed. His body flashed, and he flew into the quiet mountain forest. After a while, he carried a black spirit wild boar that was at the level of a heavenly beast. He set up a rack, lit a fire, and roasted it. Soon, a tempting smell of meat spread out from the black spirit wild boar, floating in the forest, making people drool. If you are interested, you can taste it. The white-haired old man and the beautiful woman sat beside the black spirit wild boar. They used their sharp daggers to cut off a piece of roasted golden meat that contained powerful spirituality, and ate it with relish. Looking at the beautiful woman's elegant eating posture and beautiful appearance, the eyes of the gray-robed man and the others were transfixed. They immediately sat over and ate the meat while trying to get close to her. As for Yi Chunfeng, he took a deep breath and smelled the aroma of the meat. He revealed an undetectable smile, but he didn't move closer. Instead, he closed his eyes and continued to meditate, deriving the tyrant kick. Seeing Yi Chunfeng meditating with his eyes closed, the white-haired old man and the beautiful woman's eyes grew even colder. Everyone, tonight's safety is in your hands. Let's go to the carriage to rest. The white-haired old man and the beautiful woman glanced at Yi Chunfeng and the others from the corner of their eyes, and said meaningfully, "Don't worry and rest. With us here, there won't be any danger." The gray-robed man patted his chest and promised. As the night deepened, the entire mountain forest was silent. Just as Yi Chunfeng was deriving the tyrant kick again and again, the soul spirit that he released detected an abnormality. A terrifying aura appeared. In the next moment, 3 extremely fast blade lights pierced through the dark night sky. They were filled with terrifying blade Dao will, and slashed towards Yi Chunfeng and the other 2 people who were sitting around the carriage. They really attacked me. Facing the sudden attack, Yi Chunfeng didn't panic. He shook his head and disappeared into the night in a flash, dodging the blade lights that descended from the sky. The other 2 emperors with extraordinary strength didn't have Yi Chunfeng's astonishing speed. They could only rely on their powerful strength to resist the blade light's attack. A terrifying explosion broke the silence of the night. The entire ground was shaken until it was covered with cracks. "Who is it?" The gray-robed man and the other 2 people summoned their Dao treasures. They glared at the ghost-like figure and roared angrily. "The person who will kill you." A cold, emotionless voice rang out. The ghost-like figure attacked again. Blade lights that were filled with killing intent slashed down. The terrifying blade intent was like a terrifying storm that drowned everything. It wanted to destroy everyone. "You?" The gray-robed man and the others didn't retreat. They burned their bloodline power and transformed into their beast souls. They held their Dao treasures and engaged in a chaotic battle. Although the gray-robed man and the others were independent cultivators, they wandered between life and death all year round. They had extraordinary combat experience, and possessed many powerful trump cards. For a time, the ghost-like figure couldn't kill them. "Elder, the man called Feng Chen has disappeared." As the battle became more and more intense, Protector Jean came to the carriage and said softly, "Let's go. Let's get out of here first." The white-haired old man frowned slightly and made a prompt decision. "Okay." Protector Jean nodded. He didn't care about the gray-robed man's life, and immediately rode the 3 dragon horses into the depths of the dark forest. "Master, who do you think that Feng Chen is?" the beautiful lady asked softly. "Sigh, when that Feng Chen took the initiative to escort us, I guessed that there was something wrong with him. If not for the fear of alerting him, I would have gotten rid of him long ago. Now, it seems that this person's power and methods are far beyond our imagination. I hope we can escape from him." The white-haired old man sighed softly and said worriedly, "Elder, young miss, we are at the edge of the cliff. Should we summon our flying heavenly beasts?" The 3 dragon horses galloped along the mountain path for about an incense stick's worth of time before Protector Jin's voice rang out in the carriage. "All right, I'll summon my flying heavenly beasts and shake them off." The white-haired old man nodded, exploding forth with a powerful force to shatter the carriage. He took out his beast-controlling bag and summoned a heavenly beast level 8 golden-crowned heavenly eagle, its entire body gold in color. Its wingspan was over 10 meters, and its head had a crown of feathers. "Let's go." The white-haired old man and the other 2 leaped onto the back of the golden-crowned heavenly eagle, and with great speed, they flew out of the mountain range. At daybreak, the golden-crowned heavenly eagle flew over a vast area, arriving in the air above a mountain valley filled with strange rock. This time we should be able to shake them off, right? Looking at the bright red sun in the distance and the enchanting burning clouds, the beautiful woman's jade-like face revealed a beautiful smile. We have planned for so long and spent so much effort. If we still can't shake them off, we will be in danger. The white-haired old man nodded, also revealing a rare smile. Master, you can continue to heal your wounds. As long as we are out of danger, with the golden-crowned heavenly eagle's speed, we will be able to return to the vast heavenly capital in 2 days. The beautiful lady stretched lazily, revealing a seductive arc as she said with unparalleled beauty. Something's wrong. Just as the white-haired old man was meditating, his face changed slightly, revealing a look of panic. What's wrong, master? Seeing the white-haired old man lose his composure, the beautiful lady's heart tightened as she asked. I've been poisoned. The white-haired old man checked his body multiple times. In the end, he could not believe that as a 5-star alchemist, he had been poisoned. What? The beautiful lady's face changed slightly, and at the same time, she checked her own body. She found that she had also been poisoned. They had just escaped from danger, and now they had met with true danger. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading history. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will be able to see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1087. We were so careful, how could we be poisoned? The beautiful woman took a deep breath, suppressed the panic in her heart, and tried hard to recall. Suddenly, a powerful will of the way erupted from the white-haired old man. An unparalleled fist aura shot out and blasted towards Protector Jean, who was at the side. But Protector Jean was prepared, his body flashed, and dodged the white-haired elder's sudden attack. He stood on the golden eagle's neck, looked at the white-haired elder coldly and said, "Elder, what do you mean by this?" The white-haired elder quickly swallowed a detoxification pill, looked at him coldly and said, "Along the way, only you had the chance to come in contact with me and Yen. I really didn't expect you to betray us. Protector Jean, you..." The beautiful woman's eyes widened, she couldn't believe what just happened. "I am Duke Yong's man, how could I betray you?" The plan succeeded. Protector Jean tore off his disguise, the corner of his mouth slightly raised, and said mockingly. After he finished speaking, his legs burst forth with a powerful force, piercing through the defenseless golden crown heavenly eagle's neck, forcibly breaking its neck. A large amount of blood spurted out like a fountain, sprinkling down from the 9 heavens. "Yenner, let's go." The white-haired elder suddenly held the beautiful woman in his arms, jumped down from the golden-crowned sky eagle, and fled into the rugged stone valley. But, under the corrosion of the strange poison, the white-haired elder, who was a level 5 combat beast emperor, was abnormally weak, and couldn't get rid of Protector Jin's pursuit. "Elder, I advise you not to make a futile struggle, you can't escape." Then, Protector Jean let out a shocking roar, the terrifying sound wave pierced through the 9 heavens, and bombarded the white-haired elder at an astonishing speed, shaking his blood, and causing a large amount of blood to spurt out of his mouth. Chop! Protector Jean, who was in hot pursuit, quickly slashed out again. The terrifying blade light was like mercury flowing down the ground, splitting the heavy air, and fiercely chopped the heavily injured white-haired elder's body, directly chopping him from mid-air to the ground, smashing a big hole in the ground. He was heavily injured. "Yenner, don't worry about me, go, I will help you hold him back." The white-haired old man covered in blood crawled up from the ground. He forcefully pushed the pale-faced beautiful woman and urged her in a loud voice. "Humph! Do you still want to escape after being poisoned by the bone-softening powder?" Protector Jean looked down at the white-haired old man and the white-haired old man and said coldly. A large hand that covered the heavens broke out from his body, bringing with it an unstoppable force, grabbing towards the beautiful woman whose entire body went limp after the poison flared up, wanting to grab her in its hands. "Hey, can't you treat such a beautiful girl gently?" All of a sudden, an ice-cold voice rang out. The gigantic hand that was grabbing the peerless beauty suddenly suffered a heavy blow. It shattered into pieces and dissipated into the void. The next moment, Yi Chunfeng, who was dressed in a long white robe and had a heroic air about him, walked out of the rocky valley. "It's you. Why are you here?" Protector Jin did not expect that Yi Chunfeng, who had disappeared in the forest, would suddenly appear. He raised his eyebrows and had a bad feeling. "I am their hired guard. I will be wherever they are. Is there a problem with that?" Yi Chunfeng said playfully with the corner of his mouth raised slightly. "Boy, although I don't know who you are, I advise you not to get involved in this mess. Otherwise, don't blame me for not warning you when you die." Protector Jin looked at the calm Yi Chunfeng and secretly hid a destruction stone in his hand as he warned coldly. "Hey, I am a stubborn person. Since I have accepted the mission, I will definitely protect them to the end." Yi Chunfeng sighed softly and said, "Also with your strength, you can't threaten me. Well, let me see how powerful you are." As he spoke, Protector Jin leaped into the air and slashed towards Yi Chunfeng with boundless killing intent. The terrifying power of the saber Dao seemed to split the void into two halves, and the whole sky was dark. The eighth heaven of the saber Dao. This move was a bit interesting. Feeling the Dao intent contained in Protector Jin's saber, Yi Chunfeng's expression was calm. He stood in place in silence with his hands behind his back and did not dodge at all. "You are courting death." Seeing that Yi Chunfeng did not dodge his attack, Protector Jin's eyes were filled with killing intent. His strong body suddenly swelled, and a terrifying roar erupted from his mouth. Then, he threw out the destruction stone hidden in his palm and shot it at Yi Chunfeng. This destruction stone, which was powerful enough to shatter a low-grade Dao weapon, was his real killing move. The previous series of attacks were just to distract Yi Chunfeng. "Good move, but unfortunately you are too weak." As he spoke, the God-Eater brain quickly deduced. A large number of great Dao patterns appeared in Yi Chunfeng's mind, flowing like waves of light. When these sound patterns merged, they formed the sound of the great Dao that shocked heaven and earth. With one roar, heaven and earth changed. The rolling sound of the great Dao was like the Milky Way that spanned across the sky, directly destroying the sound waves released by Protector Jin. It shattered the saber gleams that descended from the sky and detonated the destruction stone that was flying over. Crack, crack, crack. After being attacked by the sound of the great Dao released by Yi Chunfeng, the golden armor on Protector Jin's body instantly turned into dust. The terrifying sound waves bombarded his body, shattering all the bones in his body and sending him flying thousands of meters away. If Yi Chunfeng had not shown mercy and wanted to keep him alive, this roar would have been enough to kill him. Not even his bones would have been left. Gu Tai too strong. The sound of the great Dao echoed in their ears for a long time. When they saw Protector Jin, the white-haired old man, and the beautiful woman, who had been sent flying by Yi Chunfeng's roar and whose fate was unknown, could not help but gulp. They were deeply shocked by Yi Chunfeng's strength. They could not imagine that Yi Chunfeng, who was a fourth-grade beast emperor, would have such combat strength. Return. Yi Chunfeng reached out his hand and several great Dao intents formed a huge hand that covered the sky. He grabbed Protector Jin, who had collapsed on the ground like a pile of mud, and threw him to the ground. "Don't be too proud. The Marquis of Yongtian will definitely avenge me." Protector Jin, whose bones were shattered and no longer had any vitality, said weakly. Soul Search Yi Chunfeng ignored Protector Jin's threat and was about to use the power of the God-Eater brain to search his soul. However, at this moment, Guardian Jin gritted his teeth and a powerful force exploded in his mouth, causing his head to explode. This caused Yi Chunfeng to fail the soul searching. "Seems like you know a lot of secret. Looking at Protector Jin's corpse, Yi Chunfeng shook his head and released a wisp of life flame to melt the corpse. Let's go, my two employers. Let's leave this place first. Yi Chunfeng gently wiped off the bloodstains on his hands and looked at the two beautiful women who were still in shock and said softly, "What's wrong? Are you afraid that I will harm you?" Looking at the two indifferent women, Yi Chunfeng smiled faintly and said, "If I really wanted to harm you with your strength, do you think you can escape from my palm? Okay, we will go with you." Although Yi Chunfeng seemed to have descended from the heavens to save them, they could not figure out Yi Chunfeng's purpose, and were still vigilant against him. But at this moment, they had no choice but to leave with Yi Chunfeng. Not long after Yi Chunfeng and the other two left, more than 10 men wearing black robes and silver masks appeared. They checked the traces of fighting on the ground and took out a polygonal stone plate. After deducing a bit, they quickly left. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1088. This place is not bad. Let's rest here. Yi Chunfeng summoned his Pegasus and flew for half a day with the beautiful woman and the old man before they settled down in a secluded valley to rest. These 2 detoxification herbs are for you. After you take them, the poison in your body should be cured. Yi Chunfeng looked at the pale faces of the 2 people who had failed to detoxify the poison. He took out 2 expensive, blood-red detoxification herbs and gave them to them. Vermilion red grass. Looking at the 2 detoxification herbs that Yi Chunfeng handed over, the white-haired old man's eyes lit up. He immediately recognized that these were extremely rare detoxification herbs that could cure thousands of poisons. They were extremely valuable. After a moment of hesitation, he swallowed them to detoxify the strange poison in his body. "Take them. I won't harm you." Yi Chunfeng looked at the hesitant beautiful woman and said softly, "Why did you save us?" After taking the vermilion red grass, the beautiful woman felt the poison in her body lessen. She let out a long sigh of relief and asked softly, "I want to buy 3 herbs through Heaven Pavilion. Would you be willing to help me?" Seeing the enmity in the beautiful woman's eyes, Yi Chunfeng knew that she did not believe him. He did not mind and said slowly, "So simple?" The beautiful woman asked in disbelief. "Why? Do you think that I should be infatuated with you and be willing to be your escort?" Yi Chunfeng smiled and said jokingly, "You!" The beautiful woman's face darkened. Her beautiful breasts undulated seductively. "What herbs do you need?" The white-haired old man exhaled a mouthful of turbid air and asked. The 3 herbs were very rare and precious. They could not be bought on the market. Yi Chunfeng said slowly, "But you don't have to worry. If Heaven Pavilion has them, I will buy them at the original price. I won't take advantage of you. You are too polite. You saved us, so we should repay you generously. As long as Heaven Pavilion has the herbs you need, I will make the decision to give them to you." The white-haired old man promised. "All right, thank you very much," Yi Chunfeng said with a smile. As he spoke, an extremely fast shadow appeared. This shadow was the ghostly master who had attacked Yi Chunfeng and the others in the forest. Puppet looking at the man who suddenly appeared with a cold expression and an austere aura, Yi Chunfeng immediately recognized that he was not a real person, but a puppet with extraordinary strength. Back then, the white-haired old man had wanted to use this puppet to put on a show and move away the hidden enemy to buy time for himself to escape. However, it was used by Protector Jin and was almost doomed. Yi Chunfeng shook his head and said, "The 2 of you really shouldn't have summoned this puppet back so early." "Are you saying that?" The white-haired old man frowned as if he suddenly thought of something. "Even though this puppet is under your control, you gave it to Protector Jin, didn't you?" Yi Chunfeng said slowly, "That Protector Jin is quite skilled. Do you think he left some kind of mark on this puppet? Come on, let's get the hell out of here." The expressions of the white-haired old man and the white-haired old man changed slightly as they sensed the seriousness of the situation. They gave up on the idea of healing their injuries and wanted to leave quickly. "They're here. Those people have already caught up. We can't leave," Yi Chunfeng said calmly as he slowly stood up and looked into the distance. Just as Yi Chunfeng finished speaking, the white-haired old man and the white-haired old man both sensed that more than 10 experts with extraordinary strength were approaching them. These people were precisely the Yongtian capital experts who had chased after them back then and had been shaken off with great difficulty. Their hearts were in a state of panic. "Don't be afraid. With me here, they won't be able to harm you." Seeing the white-haired old man and the white-haired old man reveal a trace of panic, Yi Chunfeng revealed a faint smile and spoke with confidence. "Whoosh, whoosh. Mu Qinghua, Jiao Yuyan, I've really underestimated your methods. Who would have thought that not only were you able to shake us off, you even managed to find a spy and eliminate him." A tall and straight level 6 combat beast emperor wearing a silver mask glared at Yi Chunfeng and the white-haired old man as he spoke in a sinister tone. "You bunch of despicable people, just wait for my mother's revenge," Jiao Yuyan said angrily. However, she was too beautiful. Even when she was angry, she still revealed a bewitching beauty. "Ha ha ha, I'll kill you all. Who would have known that this matter was related to my Yongtian capital?" The level 6 combat beast emperor laughed heartily as he looked at Jiao Yuyan's sexy body with a burning gaze. "However, we've always been protective of women. For a beauty like you, we're not willing to let you die so quickly." You shameless Jiao Yuyan was so angry that her face turned pale and her body trembled. "Haha, I advise you to save some strength and shout loudly later. We brothers guarantee that we'll make you wish you were dead." After saying that, the experts of Yongtian capital sized up Jiao Yuyan's beautiful appearance and sexy body without any hesitation and laughed loudly. "Are you done?" At this time, Yi Chunfeng suddenly spoke. "If you're done, I'll send you all to hell." "Damn it, who are you?" "I'm her flower protector," Yi Chunfeng said with a faint smile. "You're courting death." A level 4 combat beast emperor roared and slashed towards Yi Chunfeng with a Dao weapon in his hand. Suddenly, Yi Chunfeng swung his arm and a white ripple spread out rapidly like a meteor streaking across the blue dome of heaven. The sword slashed the combat beast emperor's body, killing him instantly. Hiss! Witnessing the scene of Yi Chunfeng killing a level 4 combat beast emperor with a single slash, the mocking voices stopped. The experts of Yongtian capital all revealed expressions of shock as they summoned their own Dao weapons and charged towards Yi Chunfeng. "I'll use you guys to test the might of my bronze sword spirit." Yi Chunfeng took a step forward and swept across the sky, his sword might shaking the heavens. The Empyrean sword, which had fused with the bronze sword soul, was like a hot knife through butter, unstoppable. The interweaving sword rays caused the heavens and earth to change color, causing the blazing sun to lose its luster. Chi under the might of Yi Chunfeng's bronze sword soul, the powerful Dao treasures were pierced through one after another, and the terrifying Dao skills were torn apart one after another. Yi Chunfeng's interweaving sword might was like the intersection of the sea and the sky. It was vast, profound, and unstoppable. Following the miserable shrieks, the experts of Yongtian capital were killed by Yi Chunfeng on the spot. Blood and severed limbs scattered all over the ground, making it look like hell on earth. In less than 10 breaths of time, only the level 6 combat beast emperor, who was covered in blood and had lost his left arm, remained. The rest had all died under Yi Chunfeng's sword. "You, who exactly are you?" Witnessing the scene in front of him, the heavily injured level 6 combat beast emperor trembled as he asked in a trembling voice. As for Jiao Yuyan and Mu Qinghua, they were deeply awed by Yi Chunfeng's unrivaled strength. Especially the prideful Jiao Yuyan, the image of Yi Chunfeng's majestic figure, which was akin to a sword god descending to the mortal world, remained in her mind. "A dead person doesn't need to know who I am." Yi Chunfeng coldly looked at him, his terrifying aura causing his legs to tremble and his heart to turn to ash. Do you want to capture him alive? Yi Chunfeng looked at the two dumbstruck Jiao Yuyan and Mu Qinghua and softly asked. If you can capture him, that would be even better. That way we will have evidence to report Yong Tianho and make that hypocrite pay the price. Mu Qinghua took a deep breath and suppressed the shock in his heart as he hastily replied. Stun technique. Hearing Mu Qinghua's words, the level 6 combat beast emperor's expression changed. He wanted to self-detonate and die, but Yi Chunfeng was faster. His terrifying soul energy transformed into a stun technique, ruthlessly smashing into his soul sea, causing him to be momentarily sluggish. In the next instant, Yi Chunfeng pierced through his heart meridian and knocked him unconscious with a palm strike, easily capturing him alive. Mobile reading website, book address. In order to make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the save button at the bottom to record this book. The next time you open your bookshelf, you will be able to see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1089. The vast sky capital was one of the largest cities in the Nine Heavens divine nation. The city was majestic, and the city walls seemed to be made of black gold. It was impregnable. The layout of the city was majestic. There were ancient pavilions, flowing water, and many courtyards. The heaven pavilion built in the center of the city was like a luminous pearl, dazzling the eyes. It attracted a large number of alchemists and blacksmiths to work for it, who, finally here, looking at the majestic city gates from afar, Jiao Yuyan's heart finally calmed down. A charming smile appeared on her tired face. Young Master Feng, it's all thanks to you. Without you, Yen and I wouldn't have been able to come back. Mu Qinghua said gratefully. Elder Mu is too polite. As long as Elder Mu can help me gather the 3 herbs I need, even if it's just information on the 3 herbs, I will be extremely grateful. The central world was far more complicated than imagined. If Yi Chunfeng wanted to fight against the 3 divine nations, cut off the foreign race's inheritance, and finally ascend to the heaven region, the heavenly saint breaking pellet was crucial. It could be said that the heavenly saint breaking pellet was already tied to his fate. Young Master Feng, are you also an alchemist? Recalling Yi Chunfeng's evaluation of her when she was refining a fake Dao pill, Jiao Yuyan asked. No, I'm not an alchemist, but I'm interested in alchemy. Yi Chunfeng shook his head and said. Young Master Feng, are you interested in taking the alchemist assessment in my vast sky capital? If you can become an alchemist, there will be many benefits. After arriving safely at the vast sky capital, Jiao Yuyan's mood was much better. She invited with a smile. What are the benefits of becoming an alchemist? Yi Chunfeng looked at Jiao Yuyan's charming face and asked softly. Young Master Feng should know that the Heaven Pavilion controlled a large amount of resources in the Duhan continent. There were many resources that even the 3 divine nations didn't have. If young Master Feng became an alchemist or blacksmith of the Heaven Pavilion, you can use the Heaven Pavilion's channels to exchange for the resources you need. The price is much cheaper than outside. Jiao Yuyan introduced enthusiastically. Can't others exchange for resources through the Heaven Pavilion? Yi Chunfeng asked. Others could, but the price was much higher. Moreover, some of the core resources of the Heaven Pavilion required contribution points, so outsiders couldn't exchange for the core resources of the Heaven Pavilion. Jiao Yuyan gave a detailed introduction. Alchemist, weapon refiner. After listening to Jiao Yuyan's introduction, Yi Chunfeng's interest in alchemists and artifact refiners was piqued. Elder Gu, young miss, you're finally back. The city lord was worried to death. Yi Chunfeng's group of 3 had just entered the city with the bound experts of Yongtian capital when a white-haired old man, who gave off an extremely shrewd feeling, quickly walked over to welcome them. Steward Su, the reason why Master and I are able to return safely is all thanks to young Master Feng's life-risking help. Without him, I'm afraid you wouldn't be able to see us again. Jiao Yuyan glanced at Yi Chunfeng's chiseled face and slowly said, Miss, what exactly happened to you on this trip? Steward Su's expression changed greatly as he asked nervously. This matter is of utmost importance, so we'll discuss it when we meet with the city lord, Mu Qinghua said. Elder Gu, Miss Jiao, I won't be accompanying you to the city lord's mansion. I'll take a stroll around the city. When the time comes, we can contact Yi Chunfeng through our communication pearls. I have no intention of interfering in the internal strife of the Nine Heavens Divine Kingdom. Young Master Feng, I'll ask Steward Su to arrange a place for you to stay, Jiao Yuyan said with a pleasant voice. No need, you guys go ahead. I'll find a place to stay myself, Yi Chunfeng said, shaking his head. All right then. Mu Qinghua nodded and said, Young Master Feng, can you tell me the 3 medicinal herbs you need? After I report to the city lord, I'll go to the Heaven Pavilion to take a look. If the Heaven Pavilion has any, I'll immediately get them for you. Okay. Yi Chunfeng nodded and sent a voice transmission to Mu Qinghua, telling him the 3 main ingredients he needed. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's request, Mu Qinghua was dumbfounded. He had never even heard of these 3 main ingredients, let alone seen them. Young Master Feng, I'll remember these 3 ingredients. I'll use the Heaven Pavilion's channels to help you exchange for them. Mu Qinghua softly promised. Thank you. After Yi Chunfeng softly expressed his thanks, he separated from Jiao Yuyan and Mu Qinghua at the city gate. The Wangtian city was indeed one of the top cities in the Nine Heavens Divine Kingdom. It was indeed prosperous. Walking on the spacious and clean streets, looking at the endless stream of warriors and the majestic buildings on both sides of the street that had never been seen in the outer continent, Yi Chunfeng couldn't help but sigh with emotion. Other than the amazing buildings, Yi Chunfeng was even more surprised by the strength of the warriors on the street. Emperors, which were rarely seen in the outer continent, were everywhere here. Among them, there were many level 5 and level 6 beast emperors. Moreover, their cultivation foundations were abnormally solid. His level 4 beast emperor cultivation base was much more ordinary in the Wangtian city. After walking for a while, Yi Chunfeng found a 5-story, rather large treasure building. He walked in. However, as his strength increased, Yi Chunfeng's horizons also widened. He walked around the entire treasure building, but didn't find anything that caught his eye, so he left dispiritedly. After leaving, Yi Chunfeng walked around a few other treasure buildings, but he didn't find anything that caught his eye. Gradually, he came to the center of the city. From afar, he saw an ancient palace that covered a large area, exuding a majestic aura, and had traces of time. There were 4 stars floating on top of the palace. Below the ancient palace, there were a few alchemists and blacksmiths with star insignia standing sporadically. Heaven Pavilion. Looking at the 2 flamboyant words on the black gold plaque of the ancient palace from afar, Yi Chunfeng thought of the benefits of becoming an alchemist and blacksmith. He prepared to go in and take the assessment, get an identity, and then exchange for some things he needed through the Heaven Pavilion. Stepping on the stairs that had experienced the vicissitudes of time, Yi Chunfeng walked into the Heaven Pavilion that was filled with the faint fragrance of herbs under the suspicious gazes of many people. Mister, you look a little unfamiliar. Is this your first time in the Wangtian Pavilion? Are you here to exchange for resources or to take the alchemist or blacksmith assessment? Yi Chunfeng stood in the slightly deserted hall, looking around. An elegant woman in a white floral dress with light makeup and a sexy waist swayed as she walked over and asked softly with a smile. I want to take the alchemist assessment. What are the requirements? Yi Chunfeng looked at the woman in front of him and asked softly. If you want to take the alchemist assessment, you need to pay 10,000 upper-grade soul crystals. After that, you can take the assessment after passing our primary screening. In the assessment, you only need to refine a complete heaven pill. However, if you want to get the star insignia that symbolizes your identity, you must refine a middle-grade heaven pill. The woman in the white dress introduced enthusiastically. Yi Chunfeng, who didn't know what the primary screening was, asked without changing his expression. The screening is very simple. It is to test your eyesight and discernment of herbs. When the time comes, we will give you a prescription. You only need to find the herbs in the prescription within the specified time. Then, you can take the alchemist assessment. The woman in the white dress explained patiently. Then how do I take the blacksmith assessment? Yi Chunfeng continued to ask. The blacksmith assessment was more difficult and had a high requirement for flames. Only those with a strong natal flame or those with heaven flames could take the assessment. The assessment fee was also 10,000 upper-grade soul crystals. The woman in the white dress said. Here are 20,000 upper-grade soul crystals. I will take both the alchemist and blacksmith assessment. Yi Chunfeng took out 20,000 upper-grade soul crystals and handed them to the woman in the white dress. Both assessment? The woman in the white dress was stunned. She hadn't seen someone who cultivated alchemy and blacksmith at the same time for many years. Moreover, Yi Chunfeng was young. It was almost impossible for him to cultivate two great inheritances at the same time. Yes, lead the way. Yi Chunfeng nodded and said without hesitation. Okay, this way, please. Looking at Yi Chunfeng's calm expression, the woman in the white dress didn't say anything. She elegantly led him to the assessment hall. Mobile reading website, book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You can see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1090. The woman in the white dress led Yi Chunfeng through a long corridor that was filled with calligraphy and paintings. They arrived at a large hall that was filled with a faint medicinal fragrance. At this time, several people were standing beside an ancient wooden table full of medicinal herbs, and under the supervision of an alchemist, they were going through the screening test. Master Fu, this young master wants to take the alchemist and craftsman test. The woman in the white dress took Yi Chunfeng to a solemn-looking old man with white hair, a wrinkled face, and a 3-star badge hanging on his chest, who was sitting next to a pile of medicinal herbs and gently wiping a medicine furnace, and said softly. The young man's tone is not small. Fu Dashi's eyebrows slightly raised. Casting a glance at the young but calm Yi Chunfeng, he said, It's been many years since I last saw a young man who can refine tools and concoct pills. I don't know when we can start the selection process, Yi Chunfeng said, neither haughty nor humble. Don't worry, can you let me see your life flame first? Master Fu was a little interested in Yi Chunfeng, so he put down the medicine furnace in his hand and said, Sure. Yi Chunfeng nodded, but he did not summon the death flame, which had reached the limit of the sky fire, but spat out a mouthful of life flame. Yi Chunfeng's life force was vigorous, and his life flame was far beyond ordinary people. Seeing Yi Chunfeng spit out the life flame, Master Fu's turbid eyes burst into a burst of light. What a powerful life flame! The quality of this life flame is probably better than the general spiritual fire, almost reaching the level of the sky fire. Master Fu said in surprise. I don't know if I can take the test now. Yi Chunfeng sucked back the burning life flame and looked at Master Fu, who was a little shocked, and asked, You have this quality of life flame, you have passed the selection test, but you can't take the alchemist test yet. Do you want to take the alchemist test or the alchemist test first? Master Fu suppressed the shock in his heart and said, and his tone softened a lot. Then let's take the alchemist test. Yi Chunfeng said lightly. Use your soul to engrave your name in this jade slip, and then drop a drop of blood, you can take the test. Master Fu took out a crystal-clear jade slip and said, Okay. Yi Chunfeng nodded, inscribing Feng Chen's name on the jade slip before dripping a drop of blood onto it. There are 10 prescriptions here, and you can choose any one of them. As long as you can accurately select the herbs in the prescription within the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, you will pass the test. However, you will only have one chance at each selection, and if you fail, you will have to pay another 10,000 high-grade soul crystals to continue the selection. Master Fu put away the jade scroll and took out 10 pieces of yellowed parchment paper. Then this one. Yi Chunfeng casually picked a prescription and said. Although he didn't have much experience in alchemy, he had integrated a large number of alchemy inheritances, including the lifetime experience of top-notch alchemists. It could be said that Yi Chunfeng's alchemy experience and standard were definitely not inferior to a top-notch alchemist. The only thing he lacked was proficiency. Increase speed pellet, low-grade heaven pellet. After consuming it, it can increase one's speed by 10% for 2 hours. It is a kind of heaven pellet that some martial artists who have been on the edge of a blade for many years are extremely fond of. Alchemy requires Buddha hand ginseng, magnolia flower, grain essence grass, and honeysuckle flower. Can I start now? Yi Chunfeng glanced at the prescription of increased speed pellet, and then glanced at the thousands of herbs that were scattered in front of him, exuding a strong medicinal fragrance, and understood in his heart. Of course, remember, you only have 1 incense stick's worth of time. Master Fu nodded, but before he finished speaking, Yi Chunfeng's right hand went deep into the pile of herbs, and in the blink of an eye, he grabbed 11 herbs and handed them over. Master Fu, can you see if I have caught the wrong herbs? Yi Chunfeng showed a faint smile and looked at the stunned Master Fu. You are really not an alchemist? Master Fu glanced at the 11 herbs lying in Yi Chunfeng's hand in silence, showing a trace of horror, and asked in surprise. In just a breath's time, he found the herbs needed to refine increased speed pellet from the pile of herbs without any mistake. With such speed and eyesight, Master Fu knew that he was far inferior to Yi Chunfeng. This made him wonder if Yi Chunfeng was here to amuse him. Master Fu, do you think I am that kind of person? Moreover, as far as I know, every alchemist and weapon refiner has a record in Heaven Pavilion. If Master Fu does not believe me, you can investigate me, Yi Chunfeng said neither arrogantly nor humbly. I don't mean that. I just think that with your standard, how can you not be an alchemist with a star emblem? Master Fu looked at Yi Chunfeng with shining eyes and explained. Master Fu, may I start the alchemy and weapon refiner assessment now? Yi Chunfeng asked softly. Of course, come with me, I will bring you to the assessment hall. Master Fu nodded and personally led Yi Chunfeng to the assessment hall, which looked like it was made of white jade and exuded dense spiritual energy. A huge furnace was carved in the middle of the furnace. If Yi Chunfeng could really become a top alchemist or weapon refiner in the Central World, as the guide and the first witness, Master Fu could brag about it for the rest of his life. According to Heaven Pavilion's rules, you can only take the assessment 1 level at a time, but you have 2 chances for each assessment. If you fail twice, the assessment ends and you have to compensate for the herbs and weapon refiner stones used. Also, there is an unwritten rule in Heaven Pavilion. During the assessment, the pills and weapons refined belong to Heaven Pavilion. You cannot take them away. Master Fu patiently explained the assessment rules to Yi Chunfeng. Everything will be according to the rules. Yi Chunfeng nodded and said. Seeing that Yi Chunfeng was very cooperative, Master Fu smiled faintly and said, I don't know if you will provide the recipe or use ours. I will make the speed-increasing pill just now, Yi Chunfeng said faintly. By the way, can I trouble Master Fu to prepare another set of cloud essence stone, iron wood, golden rock, black spider shell, and silver star sand? Okay. Master Fu nodded and immediately ordered people to prepare for Yi Chunfeng. After a while, the herbs for the speed-increasing pill and the weapon refiner materials Yi Chunfeng needed were all placed in front of Yi Chunfeng. Seeing that the 5 weapon refiner materials were all exquisite, Yi Chunfeng smiled with satisfaction and took out a low-grade Taoist treasure furnace from the universal mirror. He got this furnace from killing enemies earlier. Although it was not as good as the Suzaku furnace, it was enough for this assessment. Good furnace, it was indeed a good furnace. Looking at the furnace Yi Chunfeng took out, Master Fu's eyes lit up. He was looking forward to Yi Chunfeng's assessment even more. Master Fu, can I start now? Yi Chunfeng looked at Master Fu, whose eyes were shining, and asked softly. Remember, the assessment time is 4 hours. If you can't make the pill within 4 hours, you will fail the assessment. Master Fu nodded and reminded him. Okay. Yi Chunfeng nodded and threw the 11 medicinal herbs needed to refine the speed-increasing pill and the various materials needed to refine a low-grade heaven artifact into the cauldron. Wait, what are you doing? Master Fu looked at Yi Chunfeng in surprise and asked in confusion. Save time, make pills and make weapons together. Yi Chunfeng said faintly. Really? Master Fu's eyes widened in disbelief. Mobile reading site. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1091. Feng Chen, are you kidding me? Are you really going to refine pills and weapons in the same cauldron? Master Fu gulped as he looked at Feng Chen in disbelief. He had never seen or even heard of such a ridiculous thing. Was there a problem? Although it was extremely difficult to refine pills and equipment at the same time, and the requirements for one's soul, technique, and experience were even higher, and the slightest mistake could result in failure, for Yi Chunfeng, who had fused a large amount of refining fragments and could only refine low-grade heaven pills and heaven artifacts, it was not difficult at all. Feng Chen, do you really know how to refine pills? Master Fu said doubtfully. You should know that refining pills and weapons is different in terms of purification, fusion, and formation. If you refine them at the same time, there is no chance of success. Nothing is absolute in this world. If you don't try, how do you know you will fail? Yi Chunfeng said with a smile, his voice full of confidence. Feng Chen, you should know that if you fail the test, you will have to compensate for Tiange's loss. Master Fu reminded him. The more he looked at Yi Chunfeng, the more he felt like he was fooling around. I know. After he finished speaking, Yi Chunfeng no longer paid any attention to Master Fu, whose face was full of doubt. He spat a mouthful of life flame into the cauldron to activate it. He then controlled his life flame to separately calcine the herbs needed to refine the speed-increasing pill and the materials needed to refine the low-grade heaven weapon. Master Fu, don't be nervous. You are making me nervous. Yi Chunfeng said helplessly as he looked at Master Fu, whose eyes were getting bigger and bigger and whose wrinkles were trembling. Okay. Master Fu nodded awkwardly. Regardless of whether it was alchemy or crafting, it was important to have a clear mind and focus on the task. Master Fu had never seen someone like Yi Chunfeng, who could still talk while refining pills and crafting weapons in the same cauldron. Just as Master Fu stood aside and watched with mixed feelings, Yi Chunfeng's hands moved quickly and made a complicated hand sign that merged into the burning cauldron. At this moment, his soul was released and injected into the cauldron. He controlled the life flame precisely and refined the materials for refining pills and weapons. What a beautiful refining technique! Grandmaster Fu's eyes lit up as he watched Yi Chunfeng smoothly condense the inscriptions one after another. He really wasn't an alchemist or a blacksmith. Looking at Yi Chunfeng's calm and almost perfect refining skills, Master Fu looked like he had seen a ghost. He felt that Yi Chunfeng's skill in condensing tool and elixir patterns was far more outstanding than his own. Especially his control of flames. He could only look up to Yi Chunfeng's dust. Just as Master Fu was getting more and more shocked, and was deeply stunned by the scene before him, suddenly, the flames in the cauldron wantonly, and the blazing flames were like a wild horse that had broken free of its reins, becoming restless. Oh no, the furnace is going to explode. Master Fu's expression changed slightly. I've already told you that refining pills and equipment at the same time won't work. He's still young and impetuous. He's wasting an opportunity and a large number of high-grade soul crystals. Buzz buzz. Just as the life flame in the cauldron was about to go out of control due to the repulsion of materials, Yi Chunfeng quickly slapped his palms on the hot cauldron rhythmically, forming a large number of innate Tao patterns. In the next moment, the life flame that had gone out of control calmed down. Under the control of Yi Chunfeng's multitasking, it continued to calcine the materials and purify the impurities. How did he do it? Master Fu was deeply shocked once again. If he was in Yi Chunfeng's shoes, he would have been helpless and could only wait for the cauldron to explode. However, Yi Chunfeng was able to resolve the crisis calmly. This kind of refining technique and experience made Master Fu feel incredulous, as if he was dreaming. As time passed, Yi Chunfeng, who was multitasking, purified the materials for refining pills and equipment separately. At this time, Yi Chunfeng condensed tool inscriptions in one hand and elixir patterns in the other. A large number of elixir and tool inscriptions seemed to have a life of their own as they fused into the cauldron crazily. The patterns are as if they have a life of their own. Master Fu's mouth opened and he could not help but cry out in surprise. Then, he realized that he had lost his composure and quickly covered his mouth, afraid that he would disturb Yi Chunfeng and distract him. Genius, this Feng Chen is definitely a genius. I really don't know who taught him such a genius. Master Fu swallowed a mouthful of saliva. He was completely convinced by Yi Chunfeng's refining technique. It seemed that he was not reckless to be refining pills and equipment at the same time. He really did have the ability to do so. Taking a few deep breaths, Master Fu forcibly suppressed the shock in his heart. He widened his eyes and watched Yi Chunfeng's refining technique, afraid that he would miss a single detail. Condensing the elixir, condensing the equipment, injecting a large number of elixir and tool inscriptions into the cauldron, Yi Chunfeng's eyes shone brightly. He controlled his powerful soul to control the two pure spirit liquids in the cauldron. They began to condense and gradually formed 5 heaven elixirs and a short knife. Bang! The elixirs were formed and the tool was formed. Yi Chunfeng slapped the hot cauldron. 5 perfect-grade speed-increasing elixirs and a short knife with tool inscriptions flew out of the cauldron and into Yi Chunfeng's hand. Heavens, the quality is superb. This short knife is a supreme-grade low-grade heaven elixir. Looking at the short knife in Yi Chunfeng's hand that was inscribed with a large number of tool inscriptions, Master Fu's heart was in turmoil. When he saw the 5 speed-increasing elixirs lying in silence in Yi Chunfeng's right hand, he fell into a daze. 5 speed-increasing elixirs, and all of them are perfect. I'm afraid that even the Pavilion Elder doesn't have such heaven-defying alchemy skills. How did he do it? A shock that came from the deepest part of his soul took over his body. He opened his mouth, but did not say a word for a long time. Master Fu, I've passed the test, right? Looking at the stunned Master Fu, Yi Chunfeng gently exhaled a murky breath and asked after passing the speed-increasing elixirs and the low-grade heaven elixir to him. Pass, definitely pass. Master Fu, who came back to his senses, said hurriedly. The way he looked at Yi Chunfeng was constantly changing. At this moment, Yi Chunfeng was no longer a fledgling in Master Fu's heart. Instead, he was a senior master with profound attainment. He wanted to ask Yi Chunfeng for advice. If Yi Chunfeng was not so young that Master Fu could not put down his old face, he would have worshipped Yi Chunfeng as his teacher and asked him to teach him the shocking alchemy skills. Master Fu, can I continue the test? Yi Chunfeng asked softly as he looked at the excited Master Fu, who showed a trace of respect. Of course, Master Fu said matter-of-factly. Child Feng, please follow me. I'll take you to the independent stone room for the test. Okay. Yi Chunfeng nodded. Then, he followed the excited Master Fu to an independent stone room that was fiery red in color and had an extremely high temperature. This independent stone room, that could amplify the power of the flame, was usually only used by disciples with high status. Every time it was used, one would have to pay millions of upper-grade soul crystals. However, Yi Chunfeng's performance just now was so heaven-defying that Master Fu used his authority to open the stone room for Yi Chunfeng for free. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1092. Young Master Feng, what kind of elixir do you need? Master Fu asked politely as he held a dozen elixir recipes in his hand. He was treating Yi Chunfeng as a senior. Watermark advertisement test. Watermark advertisement test. I'll make this bone-cleansing elixir. Yi Chunfeng flipped through the elixir recipes in Master Fu's hands and chose a middle-grade elixir that was harder to make. The bone-cleansing elixir was a kind of body-tempering elixir. After taking it, it could refine all the bones in the body. It was a dream elixir for some martial artists. However, there were more herbs to make the bone-cleansing elixir, and it was more complicated. Even some 3-star alchemists would find it difficult to make it, and the success rate would not exceed 70%. What kind of materials do you need? Master Fu took out the recipe and continued to ask. 100-year-old warm jade, 3-star stone, and ice silk. Yi Chunfeng thought for a while and said, Young master, please rest for a while. I'll prepare the materials for the test. After remembering what Yi Chunfeng needed, Master Fu went to prepare for Yi Chunfeng personally. After Master Fu left, Yi Chunfeng sat cross-legged in the independent stone room. He recalled the mistakes he made when he was refining elixirs and weapons, and perfected his alchemy skills. Very soon, Master Fu returned with the items that Yi Chunfeng needed. Following him were 3 old friends who were on good terms with him, and were filled with curiosity. Old Fu, are you crazy? Did you really see a young man refining elixirs and weapons in the same cauldron? And the elixirs and weapons he made were perfect. An old man wearing a white alchemy robe with a 4-star emblem on his chest said doubtfully. Old Du, what's the benefit of lying to you? Master Fu said helplessly. I didn't believe it at first, but I was really shocked when I saw his alchemy skills. If I didn't peek at his bone age, I would have thought he was an old monster in disguise. Could it be that the heavens are protecting Wang's sky pavilion? At this critical moment, the heavens sent us a peerless talent. Looking at Master Fu's solemn face, Master Du and the rest looked at each other and saw the surprise and expectation in each other's eyes. Old Du, open your eyes wide and watch slowly. Don't be shocked when the time comes. Master Fu said with a smile as he brought the 3 of them to the image crystal outside the stone room. After saying that, he walked into the stone room and gave Yi Chunfeng the materials for refining pills and tools. Young Master Yi, are you going to refine pills and weapons together this time, or separately? Although Master Fu really wanted to see Yi Chunfeng concoct pills and forge weapons at the same time, he knew that the difficulty of refining middle-grade heaven pills was much higher than low-grade heaven pills, so he asked softly. To save time, let's go together. Yi Chunfeng glanced at the supreme-grade materials for refining pills and equipment that Master Fu handed over and said nonchalantly. All right, then I won't disturb young Master's examination. I'll wait outside. After saying that, Master Fu closed the restriction of the stone room and left. Wuxi Chunfeng adjusted his breathing and opened the cauldron. He threw all the materials for alchemy and crafting into the cauldron. Then, he spat out a mouthful of hot life flame to wake the furnace. He used his powerful soul to control the burning life flame to refine the impurities. This kid is really refining pills and weapons in the same furnace. Seeing the scene of Yi Chunfeng's examination through the image crystal, Master Du and the rest gasped. What a skilled condensing technique, what a mysterious refining technique. There really is such a genius in the world. Looking at Yi Chunfeng's calm expression and smooth refining technique, Master Du and the rest were deeply shocked. They could only see this kind of calmness and control from senior alchemists and weapon refiners. With the experience of the furnace almost exploding the last time, Yi Chunfeng did it even more perfectly this time. After easily refining the pure spirit liquid, he formed two completely different refining techniques with his hands, condensing the elixir veins and the artifact veins. Then, through the boiling cauldron, they merged into the spirit liquid that was being burned by the life flame. Monster, this kid is definitely a monster. When Master Du and the rest saw Yi Chunfeng performing two different refining skills at the same time, they were so shocked that they stood up from their chairs. They were extremely excited. "Old Du, do you believe that I'm not fooling you now?" Master Fu said with a faint smile as he looked at the stunned faces of Master Du and the rest. "Strong, too strong. I really don't know who taught such an amazing talent. Our Skyview Pavilion must keep such a talent." Master Du was not stingy with his praise. "Sigh, old Du, I had the same thought as you just now, but my sky-gazing pavilion is only a 4-star sky pavilion, and judging from his stunning performance, his potential is probably not just a 4-star sky pavilion. It will be difficult to keep him." Great Master Fu sighed softly. The stars of the sky pavilion were directly related to the star emblem. A 4-star sky pavilion could only give out 4-star emblems. If the alchemists or weapon refiners of the Skyview Pavilion wanted to take the 5-star emblem examination, they would have to leave the Skyview Pavilion and go to a higher-level sky pavilion. Master Du bit his lips and said, "No matter what price we have to pay, we must keep him in our Skyview Pavilion before the highest-level sky pavilion competition. By then, with the help of the Elder and Miss, our Skyview Pavilion will definitely be able to become a 5-star sky pavilion." Time flew by quickly. Under Yi Chunfeng's smooth refining technique, the 3 bone-cleansing elixirs and middle-grade celestial weapons quickly formed. At this time, the energy released by the 3 bone-cleansing elixirs and middle-grade celestial weapons repulsed each other in the furnace, causing the furnace to tremble slightly. Shen. Feeling the furnace shaking more and more violently, Yi Chunfeng's eyes lit up. His hands quickly gathered together, and several Tao patterns merged into the furnace. Instantly, the restless furnace was shaken, and the conflicting energy of the bone-cleansing elixirs and middle-grade celestial weapons were isolated. In the next moment, Yi Chunfeng continuously spat 3 mouthfuls of life flame into the furnace to speed up the process of forming the bone-cleansing elixirs and middle-grade celestial weapons. The elixirs were formed and the weapons were formed. Finally, under Yi Chunfeng's exquisite control, the 3 bone-cleansing elixirs and middle-grade celestial weapons were successfully refined. They flew out of the furnace and into Yi Chunfeng's hand. Wonderful! I had lived for so long, but this was the first time he had seen someone refine weapons and elixirs so calmly and freely. "Little friend Feng Chen, you have taught us a lesson." At this time, the tightly shut door of the stone room opened. Master Fu, Master Du, and the others walked in. Master Du looked at Yi Chunfeng as if he had found a treasure and praised him loudly. "Feng Chen, this is Master Du. His position in the Skyview Pavilion is second only to the Pavilion Elder. These 2 are my old friends. We witnessed your test outside just now. It was really wonderful." Master Fu introduced softly. "Master Du, 2 masters, how are you?" Yi Chunfeng revealed a faint smile as he spoke in a tone that was neither haughty nor humble. "Feng Chen, do you want to continue the test or take a break?" Master Du asked amiably. "I'm not tired. Let's continue," Yi Chunfeng said calmly. "Okay." Master Du and the others' eyes lit up, and the excitement on their faces grew stronger. A day passed quickly. In the evening, Yi Chunfeng left the Skyview Pavilion under the sunset with Master Du and the others personally sending him off. When he left, there were 2 4-star badges on his left chest that symbolized his identity as an alchemist and a blacksmith. Red packet plenty. Read more now. Mobile reading home, book address. In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1093. Skyview Pavilion can only take the 4-star insignia test. How disappointing. Watermark advertisement test. Watermark advertisement test. Although Yi Chunfeng's skills shocked everyone and became a 4-star alchemist and blacksmith, Yi Chunfeng was unable to take the 5-star alchemist and blacksmith test as he wished due to the limited level of the Skyview Pavilion. If Yi Chunfeng could become a 2-star alchemist and blacksmith, he would be able to advance to become a rare heavenly master. Not only would he be able to receive generous remuneration from the Skyview Pavilion every year, but he would also be able to obtain a large number of points as rewards. Points were more useful than soul crystals in the Skyview Pavilion. Generally, the core resources of the Skyview Pavilion could only be exchanged with points. Just as Yi Chunfeng was regretfully looking for a place to settle down, news of his stunning performance today immediately spread to the City Lord Manor. What's wrong, mother? Why are you smiling? In an exquisite room in the City Lord's mansion, Jiao Yuyan, who was wearing a thin nightgown that couldn't hide her impressive figure, asked in confusion when she saw the faint smile on her mother's face. Jiao Yuyan's mother was the Skyview Marquis of the Skyview City, a master of nirvana. As a woman, to be able to become a Marquis of the 9 Heavens divine nation and be in charge of a first-rate city, it was enough to show how terrifying the Skyview Marquis's strength and means were. Master Du just sent me a message saying that an amazing young man came to the Skyview Pavilion today. In just half a day, he completed 5 tests and became a 2-star alchemist and blacksmith, the Skyview Marquis said with a smile as she looked at the communication bead in her hand. How can a 2-star alchemist and blacksmith become a 2-star alchemist and blacksmith after 5 tests? Jiao Yuyan frowned slightly and said charmingly, Master Du isn't mistaken, right? Of course, Master Du isn't mistaken. The Skyview Marquis said slowly, because that person refined pills and blacksmiths in the same cauldron during the tests. He only took 5 tests. What, refining pills and blacksmiths in the same cauldron? Jiao Yuyan's eyes widened as she said in disbelief, Don't heavenly pills and heavenly weapons clash? Since when did such a shocking talent appear in my vast sky capital? You should know this amazing talent. Wangtian Marquis looked at Jiao Yuyan dotingly and softly said, I know him. Jiao Yuyan's heart trembled as a handsome figure suddenly appeared in her mind. Could that person be Feng Chen? You're right, Master Du told me that this person is called Feng Chen. Wangtian Marquis nodded. Heavens, is this Feng Chen a monster? Not only is his strength extraordinarily high, but he also has such profound attainments in alchemy and tool forging. How can he let others live? Jiao Yuyan exclaimed in surprise. However, the smile on her face grew wider and wider. What do you think of the journey? Looking at Jiao Yuyan's feminine demeanor, Wangtian Marquis asked with a faint smile. Mother, what do you mean? Hearing the sky-gazing Marquis's implied meaning, Jiao Yuyan's face turned slightly red, and she became even more charming. You're not young anymore. If you want to pursue your own happiness, you have to do it as soon as possible. Otherwise, if you're targeted by others, even Mother won't be able to protect you. Wangtian Marquis sighed softly. I know. Thinking of her fate, Jiao Yuyan's good mood was swept away, and she nodded silently. Call Feng Chen to the mansion tomorrow morning. I'll test him and see if he's as outstanding as you say he is. Wangtian Marquis said thoughtfully. Early in the morning, the gentle sunlight shone in, illuminating the dark room. Just as Yi Chunfeng was sitting cross-legged on the bed, silently meditating, the communication pearl in his bosom suddenly lit up, and Jiao Yuyan's pleasant voice rang out. Invite me to the City Lord's mansion? Although Yi Chunfeng vaguely guessed Jiao Yuyan's identity, he didn't want to have too much to do with Wangtian Marquis. However, under Jiao Yuyan's endless invitation, he still agreed to go to the city lord's mansion. I hope they can help me find the main ingredient for refining the heavenly saint-breaking pellet, even if it's just one ingredient. Yi Chunfeng stretched lazily and stopped cultivating. He took a bath in his room and changed into a clean set of clothes. Then, he left the inn and headed to the city lord's manor, which was located in the eastern part of the city and took up a large area of land. Your Excellency must be young Master Feng. When Yi Chunfeng arrived outside the heavily guarded city lord's manor, where two majestic stone lions sat, a woman wearing a lotus-colored Chong Sam walked over. Her voluptuous figure drew a beautiful curve, and she exuded a faint fragrance. She was indescribably charming as she walked over and spoke softly. "It's me." Yi Chunfeng glanced at the flirtatious woman and nodded as he spoke with a calm expression. "Marquis, Miss has been waiting for a long time. Young master, please come in." As she spoke, the charming woman gently swayed her sexy waist as she led Yi Chunfeng into the heavily guarded city lord's manor, which was as elegant as a garden, filled with pavilions and towers. "Young master, Marquis and Miss will be here soon. Please have some tea, young master." The charming woman gently bent down and poured tea for Yi Chunfeng. As she poured tea, her voluptuous body appeared before Yi Chunfeng's eyes. Through the gaps of her qipao, Yi Chunfeng could clearly see her proud snow-white and full bosom, which exuded an alluring luster under the light. Catching sight of Yi Chunfeng's eyes, the charming woman suddenly revealed a hint of shyness. Coupled with her intoxicating charm, she was full of temptation. "Many thanks." Yi Chunfeng glanced at the charming woman without any change in expression. After softly thanking her, he began to taste the tea that was full of spirituality. "Young master, is there anything else you need?" the charming woman asked with a fragrant fragrance. "No." Yi Chunfeng gently shook his head and said, "You can go back to your work." "Very well, then I'll leave first. If young master needs anything, just call me." Finished speaking, the charming woman elegantly left. Just as the charming woman left, Yi Chunfeng's sharp soul felt a powerful aura appear. This aura was strong, and was comparable to the Marquis of Qianming. Wantian Marquis is a woman. When he looked outside the hall, he was stunned for a moment. He saw Jiao Yuyan, who was wearing an emerald green silk dress, with a face as beautiful as a flower and lips as red as a captivating red. She was intimately hugging a woman who looked very similar to her, who was graceful and elegant, as she slowly walked in. "Feng Chen, are you surprised to see me?" Noticing the surprise in Yi Chunfeng's eyes, the Wangtian Marquis looked at him and affectionately said, without any of the arrogance of a city lord, "I am indeed a little surprised." Yi Chunfeng nodded and frankly admitted, "I didn't think that the Wangtian city lord, a marquis, would be a woman." "Feng Chen, you also have male hegemonic thoughts?" Although Yi Chunfeng deliberately hid his strength, the Wangtian Marquis had seen too many young elite. When he looked at Yi Chunfeng, he felt that he was extraordinary and even smelled a trace of danger. "A little, but it's not serious." Yi Chunfeng did not dodge the Wangtian Marquis's calm and not sharp eyes as he replied with a smile. "Yi Chunfeng, you are even more outstanding than I imagined." The Wangtian Marquis suddenly bloomed with a graceful smile and said, "Why do you say that, Marquis?" Yi Chunfeng asked. "Intuition and eyesight." The smile on the Wangtian Marquis's face became even wider. "Come, let's sit down and talk." Thank you for your red packet support. Yunlei WeChat public number, YLTY83. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1094. This time, my daughter and the pavilion elder were able to return safely thanks to you risking your life to save them. I also heard from the pavilion elder that you asked him to find 3 medicinal herbs. The Marquis sat in the main seat and looked at Yi Chunfeng in silence. Yi Chunfeng nodded and asked, "Yes, those 3 medicinal herbs are very important to me. Does the Marquis have them?" "The 3 medicinal herbs you need are too rare. The Skyview Pavilion doesn't have them, and neither do I." The Marquis shook his head and said, "However, I know that there is an ancient heaven profound vine there." "Really?" Yi Chunfeng raised his brows and revealed a look of pleasant surprise. "Can the Marquis tell me where I can find the ancient heaven profound vine?" "Before I tell you about the ancient heaven profound vine, can you tell me one thing? Do you have the ability to refine Tao pills?" the Marquis asked. "Yes." Yi Chunfeng nodded and said resolutely, "That's right." Sure enough, the Marquis revealed a beautiful smile. "The ancient heaven profound vine is in the Sky Hall." "Sky Hall Marquis, do you know what is needed to exchange for the ancient heaven profound vine?" Yi Chunfeng pondered for a moment before asking. "Although I am not proficient in alchemy, I know the preciousness of the ancient heaven profound vine. In order to exchange for it, not only does it require a large amount of points, but there are also certain conditions," the Marquis slowly said. "However, if you can do one thing for my vast celestial city, I will help you exchange for the ancient heaven profound vine." "What does the Marquis want me to do?" Yi Chunfeng asked. "Are you interested in participating in the upcoming competition at the Fire God City? It is the highest level competition at the Sky Hall, and help my vast celestial pavilion become a 5-star celestial pavilion?" the Marquis asked. "Marquis, how can I help the vast celestial pavilion become a 5-star celestial pavilion? If my sky-gazing pavilion wants to be promoted to a 5-star celestial pavilion, we need 2 5-star alchemists or weapon refiners. Currently, my sky-gazing pavilion only has 1 5-star alchemist, the Pavilion Elder. If we want to be promoted, we need 2 more people to become 5-star alchemists or weapon refiners in the Sky Hall's competition. Now that Yen has the ability to become a 5-star alchemist, and according to Master Du, you have the ability to become a heavenly master. That's why Master Du recommended you to represent Wang Tian City. As long as you can help Wang Tian Pavilion advance, I will help you get the ancient heaven mystical vine," Wang Tian Marquis said slowly. "Marquis, do you know what the highest prize for the Heavenly Halls competition is?" Yi Chunfeng had long been interested in the Heavenly Halls competition, so he asked. "I heard that in the Heavenly Halls competition, the top 3 in the weapon forging competition and the top 3 in the alchemy competition will have the right to choose any of the treasures collected by the Heavenly Hall over the past 1,000,000 years. It seems that the first place will be able to choose 3 treasures," Wang Tian Marquis said. "All right, I agree to represent Wang Tian City in the competition." Yi Chunfeng showed great interest when he heard about the top 3 prizes in the Heavenly Hall's competition. He had a feeling that the Heavenly Hall would need other main ingredients to refine the Heavenly Saint Breaking Elixir. However, the Heavenly Hall's competition was open to the entire Central Great World. There were many old monsters who had studied alchemy for thousands of years and had the ability to refine sacred weapons and divine pills. It would be as difficult as ascending to the heavens to defeat them and obtain the top 3. "I knew you would agree," Wang Tian Marquis said with a smile. "However, there is a slightly troublesome matter that requires you to solve. Is this a small test?" "Marquis, please tell me," Yi Chunfeng said. "There is a quota for every heavenly pavilion to participate in the Heavenly Hall's competition, and my sky-gazing pavilion will only be allocated 3 places. Before you arrived, the 3 candidates had already been chosen. As a 5-star alchemist, the Pavilion Elder has taken 1 place. Yen is extremely talented in alchemy and has the ability to refine Tao pills, so she has taken the 2nd place. Therefore, you will have to compete with Linghu Feihua for the 3rd place," Wang Tian Marquis said. "It seems that the Marquis is still worried about my alchemy skills," Yi Chunfeng said faintly. "Fengchen, you should know how precious the quota for the Heavenly Halls competition is. Furthermore, the Linghu clan is the #1 clan in Wangtian City and has a good relationship with me. If you had not saved Yen, and the Pavilion Elder, as well as Master Du and the others jointly recommending you, I would not have changed my candidate. What's more, Linghu Feihua's alchemy talent is not inferior to Yen. If he is not convinced, it will definitely affect my relationship with the Linghu clan. Therefore, this last spot can only be obtained with your own ability. Wang Tian Marquis said. All right, I will make them willingly give up this last spot. Yi Chunfeng nodded, his voice full of confidence. I will arrange the competition between you and Linghu Feihua as soon as possible. However, during this period, you can stay in my city lord's mansion and have a good chat with Yen. This will be beneficial for both of you. Wang Tian Marquis looked at Zhao Yuyan with deep meaning in his eyes. Her delicate face was very charming. Then I will disturb you. Yi Chunfeng did not refuse and nodded. By the way, Marquis, there is one more thing I would like you to help me inquire about. What is it? Wang Tian Marquis asked. I want to buy a few fruits of life. Do you know where I can buy them? The central world was too complicated. If he wanted to deal with great dangers, he would need to rely on the life spirit technique. Therefore, Yi Chunfeng wanted to buy a few fruits of life in case he needed them. Fengchen, the things you need are all rare things. The fruits of life are far more precious than the ancient heaven enigmatic vine. They are almost impossible to buy in the market. Wang Tian Marquis said. However, I know someone who might have them. Who? Bujia. Wang Tian Marquis said. Bujia? Who is that? Yi Chunfeng was too unfamiliar with the central world. He had never heard of Bujia's name. This Bujia is a heaven-level wanted criminal of my 9 heavens divine nation. He kills people like flies and commits all kinds of crimes. My 9 heavens divine nation once offered a high bounty and sent out 10 divine investigators, but they were unable to catch him. Legend has it that this person has a fruit of life. In order to strengthen the life force of the fruit of life, he killed at least 10,000 people and used their lives to water the fruit of life. Wang Tian Marquis said in detail. Marquis, I wonder if you can help me inquire about Bujia's whereabouts? Yi Chunfeng asked. Fengchen, I must remind you that Bujia is a nirvana expert. His strength is extremely terrifying. Even I am not completely confident in killing him. Wang Tian Marquis reminded intentionally. Marquis, I will be careful. Please help me inquire about Bujia's whereabouts. Yi Chunfeng nodded and said fearlessly. Good, then I will use my connections to help you find Bujia's whereabouts. If there is any news, I will inform you. Wang Tian Marquis looked deeply at Yi Chunfeng and nodded. Yen take Fengchen to rest. Help me take care of him. Yes, mother. Zhao Yuyan nodded and left the main hall with Yi Chunfeng. Fengchen, I want to see how great your potential is. If your potential can move me, I don't mind giving my precious daughter to you. The Wangtian Marquis smiled as he watched Yi Chunfeng and Yi Qingyu leave. He muttered in his heart. Mobile reading website, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the save button at the bottom to record this reading. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1095. In the Sky Halls competition, how can I suppress all the other competitors and obtain the top 3 positions? After seeing off the charming and moving Zhao Yuyan, Yi Chunfeng entered a state of deep contemplation. As for the competition between him and Linghu Feihua, he had already tossed it to the back of his mind. Watermark advertisement test. Although Yi Chunfeng had fused a large amount of superb refining techniques and experience that many people could only dream of, he knew that with just refining techniques and experience, It would be as difficult as ascending to the heavens to defeat those old monsters who had studied alchemy and equipment techniques for thousands or even tens of thousands of years. Furthermore, Yi Qinfeng's goal was not to obtain the top 3 in a single competition, but to obtain the top 3 in all competitions. This level of difficulty was no different from defying the heavens. It seems like I have to break the tradition to obtain the slightest chance. Yi Qinfeng sat by the window and controlled the God-Eater brain to recall all the memories related to refining technique. He had a plan. I have the innate saint treasure, the Pearl of Life. If I fuse the power of the Pearl of Life into the Dan during refining, I wonder if I can increase the grade of the Dan? Yi Qinfeng muttered to himself. He thought of a way to increase the grade of the Dao Dan and decided to give it a try. 3 Spirits Origin Essence Dan, let's refine it. Yi Qinfeng searched through the God-Eater brain's memories and obtained the formula for the low-grade Dao Dan 3 Spirits Origin Essence Dan. He gathered the main ingredients from the universe mirror and set up a soundproof barrier. He summoned the vermilion bird cauldron and threw a dozen spiritual herbs into the cauldron. I hope my idea can be realized. Yi Qinfeng took a deep breath and breathed a mouthful of black flame heavenly fire into the vermilion bird cauldron. While performing a profound refining technique, he released his powerful soul to control the black flame heavenly fire and purify the herbs. Under the refinement of the black flame heavenly fire, the dozen spiritual herbs instantly withered and melted, turning into a large amount of pure spiritual liquid that floated in the vermilion bird cauldron. Condense. Yi Qinfeng's hands moved quickly as he used his alchemy arts to condense the pills. He controlled the spiritual pearl of life to release a large amount of precious life force, forming pill veins that merged into the 3 balls of spiritual liquid that were continuously condensing. As the 3 clusters of spiritual liquid were being refined and condensed, Yi Qinfeng controlled his soul to observe the changes in the 3 clusters of spiritual liquid. As expected, the 3 clusters of spiritual liquid have become even more spiritual after fusing with the life force. Sensing the continuous qualitative changes in the 3 clusters of spiritual liquid after the fusion of the pill of life, Qinfeng revealed a look of joy. He continued controlling the pearl of life's power to condense the pill of life and accelerate the transformation of the 3 spiritual liquid. 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, 4 hours. After Yi Qinfeng had patiently refined for 6 hours, the 3 balls of spiritual liquid that had fused with a large amount of elixir patterns finally condensed and formed into 3 spirits origin essence pills that were full of medicinal energy and covered with vivid elixir patterns. Formed. Yi Qinfeng slapped the scalding vermilion bird cauldron. 3 spirit origin essence Dan flew out from the cauldron lid and were caught by Yi Qinfeng. Mid-grade Dao Dan, this pearl of life is indeed an innate sacred treasure that even the mighty figures of the heaven domain would covet. After fusing with its power, the 3 spirit origin essence Dan has indeed advanced. Sensing the level of the 3 spirit origin essence Dan, Yi Qinfeng revealed a look of pleasant surprise. With this method, he would be able to turn the tide at the last moment. After resting for a while, Yi Qinfeng searched through the God-Eater brain's memories and found the pill recipe for refining a high-grade Dao pill as well as the main ingredient. He threw them into the vermilion bird furnace and continued to refine pills, trying to use the spirit bead of life to upgrade the high-grade Dao pill. Although Yi Qinfeng possessed a flame, furnace, and alchemy skills that alchemists could only dream of, refining a high-grade Dao pill was far more difficult than refining a low-grade Dao pill. In addition, Yi Qinfeng's proficiency in refining a high-grade Dao pill was far greater than that of a low-grade Dao pill. In addition, Yi Qinfeng's proficiency in refining pills was still lacking. Every time he tried to condense pill runes, he would spend a long time condensing pills to increase the grade of a high-grade Dao pill. However, because of a slight fluctuation in his soul, there would always be a mistake that would cause the furnace to explode and the pill to fail. Could it be that my current soul realm is not enough to refine a top-grade Tao pill? Yi Chunfeng frowned as he looked at the pitch-black remnants in the vermilion bird cauldron. If his success rate in refining a top-grade Tao pill was not high, not to mention the top 3, he might not even be able to make it into the top 50. He felt that if he wanted to make it into the top 3, he would have to refine a quasi-sage pill that surpassed the great Tao pill. When he fused with the God-Eater Brain's soul fragment, not only did he learn the alchemy skills to refine a quasi-sage pill, but he also learned the alchemy skills to refine a sage pill that surpassed the limits of the Duhan continent. However, his failure just now made it clear to him that with his current soul realm, he might not even be able to refine a great Tao pill, let alone a quasi-sage pill. Refining a weapon was even more difficult than refining a pill. The requirements for the flame and the soul were even higher. Sigh, how can I improve my soul realm in a short time? Yi Chunfeng sighed softly and decided to go to the Heaven Pavilion tomorrow to see if he could buy some spiritual items that could improve his soul realm through the Heaven Pavilion. After adjusting his state of mind, Yi Chunfeng took out 8 complete weapon refining stones and threw them into the vermilion bird cauldron to refine a low-grade Tao weapon. He wanted to test his idea of increasing the power of a low-grade Tao weapon. The idea he came up with was to fuse the heavenly fire, heavenly water, and even the elementary holy lightning into the weapon's embryo. Once the weapon was formed, it would contain the power of the heavenly spirit and greatly increase the weapon's attack power. Although Yi Chunfeng's idea was good, it was more difficult to implement. When he tried to fuse the black flame heavenly fire and the purple beginnings holy lightning into the low-grade Tao weapon, it directly caused the 2 great powers to become unbalanced and the weapon's embryo exploded, resulting in a failure. The power of the purple beginnings holy lightning is too strong, and the black flame heavenly fire is too weak. It seems that fusing these 2 great powers into the Tao weapon's embryo won't work. After failing once, Yi Chunfeng was not discouraged. He took out a few more weapon refining stones and threw them into the vermilion bird cauldron to try again. This time, Yi Chunfeng fused the pure purple beginnings holy lightning into the Tao weapon's embryo for an experiment. However, the power of the purple beginnings holy lightning was too violent, and it was difficult to control. Yi Chunfeng tried more than 10 methods and borrowed the power of the dead spirit bead to seal it in the Tao weapon's embryo, but he still failed. In the end, the purple beginnings holy lightning's power went out of control, resulting in another failure. Sigh, it's not easy to get a good ranking in the Sky Hall's competition. Looking at the ruined Tao weapon's embryo in the vermilion bird cauldron, Yi Chunfeng sighed softly. Just the losses from the repeated failures were too great. If it weren't for Yi Chunfeng killing a large number of powerful enemies in the early stages and harvesting a lot, it wouldn't have been enough to support his wasteful attempts. After resting for a moment, Yi Chunfeng took out a few more weapon refining stones. For the 3rd attempt, he fused the heavenly fire and heavenly water into the Tao weapon's embryo to seal it. Dead spirit bead seal. The power of water and fire countered each other, and when the energy interacted with each other, it didn't release much flow. At this time, Yi Chunfeng borrowed the power of the dead spirit bead to form a large number of weapon patterns of death, forcefully imprisoning the 2 opposing energies, and successfully sealed the heavenly fire and heavenly water into the Tao weapon's embryo. It's a success. After the seal was successful, Yi Chunfeng revealed a faint smile. His hands quickly twisted as he used a mysterious refining technique. After spending nearly an entire night, he refined a sword shape. The sword body faintly flashed with the power of water and fire. I wonder how powerful this sword is? Yi Chunfeng wiped the sweat off his forehead and entered the universe realm. He was prepared to use the Chaos Beasts to test the power of the sword. Mobile reading site, book address. In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the Collect button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1096. Hundun, stand there and don't move. I'll test the power of this sword on you. Yi Chunfeng found the Chaos Divine Beast, who had just swallowed 3 heavenly beast cores and was absorbing the rich spiritual energy to cultivate. Boss, what's the experimental value of a low-grade Dao weapon? The Chaos Divine Beast glanced at the low-grade Dao sword that Yi Chunfeng had just forged. He didn't find anything special about it, so he asked in confusion. You'll know in a while. Yi Chunfeng smiled and poured his soul power into the low-grade Dao sword. He undid the seal on the dead spirit pearl and unleashed an astonishing power to attack the Chaos Divine Beast, who didn't seem to care at all. With a slash, the power of water and fire erupted. The terrifying power was like a falling star, sweeping through the world and slashing toward the Chaos Divine Beast, whose eyes were wide open. Boom! The power of water and fire accompanied the power of the Dao will released by the low-grade Dao sword and slashed on the Chaos Divine Beast's body. The terrifying attack left a shallow sword mark on the Chaos Divine Beast's body, and his huge body uncontrollably took a step back. This boss, where did you get this sword? How can it release the power of heavenly fire and heavenly water when you attack? The Chaos Divine Beast looked at the shallow sword mark on his body and felt a huge wave in his heart. He tore apart the great tribulation of 100 beasts, went through the baptism of the world, and recovered to the holy beast realm. His strength and physical body had reached an extremely terrifying level. Not to mention a low-grade Dao weapon, even a mid-grade Dao weapon couldn't hurt him. Yi Chunfeng, on the other hand, wielded a low-grade Sword of the Way. Relying solely on the power of the Sword of the Way, he was able to leave a shallow mark on the beast's powerful body. He had even forced the beast to take a step back. Although the beast had been somewhat careless earlier, the power of the attack had exceeded his expectations. I just forged this sword, Yi Chunfeng said indifferently. Boss, you're a weapon refiner? The Chaos Divine Beast turned into his human form and said in disbelief. Why can't I be a weapon refiner? Yi Chunfeng looked at the Chaos Divine Beast's shocked expression and said with a smile, I'm going to participate in the highest level Heavenly Hall competition here and compete with the top alchemists and weapon refiners of the Central World. Alright, you guys can continue with your training. After testing the might of the low-grade Dao sword that was fused with the power of water and fire, Yi Chunfeng revealed a satisfied smile. He left the universe realm and returned to his room, preparing to take a stroll in the Sky Hall. Fengchen, how was your rest last night? Yi Chunfeng changed into a set of clean clothes. Just as he left the room, he saw Jiao Yuyan, who was wearing a white floral dress and looking as pretty as a fairy, walking over with a smile on her face under the cover of the morning sun. Having a good rest, Yi Chunfeng smiled and said, Yuyan, you are looking for me. My mother asked me to inform you that the Linghu clan has agreed to let Linghu Feihua compete with you for the last spot. The time of the competition is set for tomorrow morning, and it will be held in Heaven Pavilion. Jiao Yuyan nodded and said in a pleasant voice. Yi Chunfeng nodded and noted it down. Fengchen, that Linghu Feihua's alchemy skills are not ordinary. You must not be careless in tomorrow's competition. If you lose to him, even Mother will not be able to snatch their spot. Looking at Yi Chunfeng's indifferent expression, Jiao Yuyan softly warned him. Don't worry, if I can't even beat Linghu Feihua, how can I reach the top 50? Yi Chunfeng smiled and said domineeringly. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's ambitious words, Jiao Yuyan couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. She reminded him, Fengchen, the Sky Hall competition is the Central World's highest alchemy and blacksmithing competition. Coupled with the generous rewards, many old monsters who have been famous for tens of thousands of years may appear. If you want to reach the top 50, you must at least be an 8th grade alchemist. Could it be that you can refine a top-grade Dao pill? You haven't refined a top-grade Dao pill before, but you should be able to. Yi Chunfeng looked at Zhao Yuyan's shocked expression and said vaguely with a smile. He didn't know if Zhao Yuyan would be dumbfounded if he told her the truth, that his real goal was not to reach the top 50 in the alchemy competition, but to reach the top 3 in both competitions. Bragging Zhao Yuyan rolled her eyes at Yi Chunfeng. Her eyes rippled, charming and seductive. Yuyan, you go busy yourself. I'll go to Heaven Pavilion and exchange for something. Looking at Zhao Yuyan's suspicious expression, Yi Chunfeng smiled. I also want to go to Heaven Pavilion to exchange for some alchemy resources. Let's go together. Zhao Yuyan's beautiful eyes curved into crescents as she said softly. Okay then, let's go. Yi Chunfeng nodded and left the city lord's mansion with the elegant and beautiful Zhao Yuyan. They went to Heaven Pavilion in the center of the city. Zhao Yuyan had a high status in Wangtian City, and Yi Chunfeng shocked everyone in Heaven Pavilion. When the two of them appeared in Heaven Pavilion, even the Pavilion Elder Mu Qinghua was shocked. Pavilion Elder, I wonder if you can help me exchange for some spiritual items that can improve one's soul through Heaven Pavilion? Yi Chunfeng asked straightforwardly. Feng Chen, you saved me and Yen. I really want to fulfill your request, but spiritual items that can improve one's soul are extremely rare. The Heavenly Palace competition is about to start, and these spiritual items are in high demand. Even if you offer a high reward, you won't be able to buy them. Forget it. Yi Chunfeng didn't have much hope in the first place. He took out a piece of parchment from his Qianquan ring and handed it to Mu Qinghua. Pavilion Elder, can you help me exchange for these materials? Feng Chen, what kind of alchemy pills are you going to make? Mu Qinghua wasn't familiar with alchemy, but he was shocked when he saw the extremely precious and valuable alchemy herbs on the parchment. I'm going to make a supreme-grade alchemy pill, Yi Chunfeng said honestly. Feng Chen, do you really have the ability to make a supreme-grade alchemy pill? Mu Qinghua asked in shock. To be honest, I haven't made a supreme-grade alchemy pill before, but I think it shouldn't be a problem if I practice, Yi Chunfeng said frankly. Feng Chen, if you can really make a supreme-grade alchemy pill, you will definitely shine in the Heavenly Palace competition. You might even be able to enter the top 50. Looking at Yi Chunfeng's confident face, Mu Qinghua couldn't help but feel a trace of anticipation when he thought of Master Fu and Master Du's evaluation of Yi Chunfeng. Pavilion Elder, do you really believe him? At this time, a discordant voice sounded. Linghu Feihua, who was wearing a white alchemy robe, appeared in Heaven Pavilion accompanied by 2 attendants. He looked at Yi Chunfeng with hostility. I think he's a liar. Pavilion Elder, how many points and high-grade soul crystals do I need to exchange for the items I need? Yi Chunfeng didn't even look at the arrogant and provocative Linghu Feihua. He treated him like air. Feng Chen, I'll give you these items to repay you for saving my life, Mu Qinghua said generously. This, Yi Chunfeng knew the value of these materials, so he didn't want to break the rules. Well, compared to my life, these worldly possessions are nothing, Mu Qinghua said indifferently, but you need to give me a few days. I need to slowly exchange many materials for you through Heaven Pavilion. Thank you, Pavilion Elder. Yi Chunfeng wasn't a shy person, so he didn't reject Pavilion Elder's kindness. Feng Chen, how about accompanying me for a walk? I also want to exchange for something. Under Linghu Feihua's jealous gaze, Zhao Yuyan invited him softly. Okay. Yi Chunfeng nodded and walked into Heaven Pavilion accompanied by the beautiful and elegant Zhao Yuyan. From beginning to end, Yi Chunfeng didn't even look at the provocative Linghu Feihua, which made him furious. Feng Chen, tomorrow I swear I'll trample you under my feet, expose your true face, and turn you into a stray dog. Watching the two leave side by side, Linghu Feihua, who had pursued Zhao Yuyan to no avail, was mad with jealousy. He gritted his teeth and swore in his heart. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you'll see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1097. Early in the morning, the first rays of the morning sun spilled over the earth, awakening Wangtian City with its long history. Watermark advertisement test Pill Fire Hall, the highest level alchemy hall in Heaven Pavilion, was rarely opened. The competition between Yi Chunfeng and Linghu Feihua was set to be held here. After discussing with the Marquis and the Linghu clan, the competition between the two of you will be divided into 3 rounds. They will be a test of eyesight, a competition of fire control, and a competition of alchemy. The winner of the first 2 rounds will win the last spot to participate in the Heavenly Hall competition. Do you have any objections? Mu Qinghua, who was wearing a green alchemy robe with a 5-star badge on his chest, asked the tall and straight Yi Chunfeng and Linghu Feihua in high spirits. No, Yi Chunfeng and Linghu Feihua said in unison. Since you have no objections, let the competition begin. In order to ensure fairness, I will personally preside over the competition. The Marquis and the Linghu clan will supervise. As he spoke, Mu Qinghua opened the restriction of Pill Fire Hall. A stone platform, which was dozens of feet high and filled with tens of thousands of medicinal herbs, slowly rose from the trembling ground and entered the eyes of Yi Chunfeng and Linghu Feihua. Marquis, Linghu clan head, please each write 10 medicinal herbs on the paper to test their eyesight, Mu Qinghua said. Okay. Wangtian Marquis and Linghu clan head nodded and picked up the brushes beside them. They each wrote down 10 relatively rare herbs on a piece of parchment that contained a barrier. In order to increase the difficulty, the 2 of them also noted the age of the herbs. Marquis, the 20 medicinal herbs written by Linghu clan head will be the first topic of your competition. Whoever can find these 20 herbs out of more than 30,000 herbs the fastest and most accurately wins. Mu Qinghua opened the restriction on the parchment and displayed the names of the 20 herbs in front of Yi Chunfeng and Linghu Feihua. Begin. As soon as Mu Qinghua's voice fell, Linghu Feihua immediately rushed to the mountain-like pile of herbs to search for the 20 herbs. However, Yi Chunfeng stood in the same spot without moving an inch. Just as the surrounding crowd revealed looks of astonishment, Yi Chunfeng's right hand lightly swiped in the air, and several thousand soul strands flew into the pile of medicinal herbs. In the next moment, 19 herbs flew out from the pile of herbs and landed in Yi Chunfeng's hand like arrows released from a bow. Elder Go, in this pile of herbs, there are only 19 herbs on the paper. There is no wind branch grass. Yi Chunfeng handed the 19 herbs of different ages to the slightly surprised Mu Qinghua and slowly said, "How was this possible?" At this moment, Linghu Feihua had only found 4 medicinal herbs, but Yi Chunfeng had already completed the competition. This result made him dumbfounded and unable to accept it. Not bad, not bad. There are no problems with these 19 herbs. The age is also correct. But the wind twig grass written by the Marquis is too rare. Among the 30,000 herbs I prepared, there is none. Elder placed the 19 herbs that Yi Chunfeng caught in front of Wangtian Marquis and Linghu family head. What powerful eyesight, what a powerful soul. This child is not bad. Linghu family head looked at the 19 herbs in front of him and nodded his head in praise. Linghu Feihua, are you convinced? Elder looked at the dumbfounded Linghu Feihua and lightly asked. I am convinced. Although he didn't want to admit it, Yi Chunfeng's performance just now was truly flawless. He couldn't find any fault with it. Not only is Feng Chen's strength extraordinary, his alchemy talent is also so strong. Just how did he cultivate? After witnessing the scene just now, Jiao Yuyan's beautiful eyes shone with a bright light. She revealed a pleasantly surprised expression and her face was like a flower. Good, I announce that Feng Chen is the winner of the first round. Next, we will compete with fire control. Mu Qinghua nodded his head and loudly announced. Feng Chen, don't be happy too early. I will crush your pride and confidence in the fire control competition and let you know who is today's main character. Linghu Feihua took a deep breath and suppressed the shock and unwillingness in his heart as he silently swore in his heart. Fire control was an essential skill for alchemists. Only by controlling the flame perfectly and making the flame a part of the body could one refine a good pill wood. Qinghua brought Yi Chunfeng and Linghu Feihua to the center of the Pill Fire Palace. He opened the palace's restriction and said, "Now, summon your own flames. Whoever can control their own flames and defeat the opponent's flames will be the winner." Whoosh! Yi Chunfeng didn't use the Death Flame's heavenly fire, which was close to the limit of heavenly fire. Instead, he spat out a powerful life flame, which coiled around his fingertips like a lively little snake. Although Linghu Feihua had subdued a powerful spiritual flame by borrowing the power of the Linghu clan, in order to convince Yi Chunfeng wholeheartedly, he only spat out his origin flame. It turned into a vivid and lifelike fire eagle that flew above his head. Yen who do you think has a higher chance of winning in the fire control competition? Wang Tian Marquis didn't have high attainments in alchemy. Seeing that Yi Chunfeng's life flame was far less vigorous than Linghu Feihua's, he transmitted his voice to Jiao Yuyan beside him. "Feng Chen won't lose," Jiao Yuyan replied with a charming smile without hesitation. Wang Tian Marquis looked at his daughter's shining eyes and gently shook his head. He transmitted his voice helplessly. If he couldn't even beat Linghu Feihua, how could he compete for the top 50 in the Sky Hall's competition? Thinking of Yi Chunfeng's gentle and not overbearing words, the smile on Jiao Yuyan's face grew wider. What? Top 50 in the Sky Hall's competition? Wang Tian Marquis knew what it meant to be in the top 50 in the Sky Hall's competition. An alchemist with the ability to refine top-grade Dao pills was definitely a big shot in any divine kingdom. While they were talking, the fire control competition between Yi Chunfeng and Linghu Feihua began. Under Linghu Feihua's soul control, the fire eagle transformed from his life flame let out a long cry and flapped its flaming wings. It drew a dazzling fire shadow in the air and attacked Yi Chunfeng with great momentum. It wanted to extinguish the wisp of life flame that coiled around his fingertips in one blow. "Go!" Yi Chunfeng smiled faintly. The soul in his mind erupted and poured into the wisp of life flame that coiled around his fingertips. In the next moment, the wisp of life flame was like an erupting volcano. It suddenly expanded and burned fiercely, turning into a fire snake that was dozens of feet long. It opened its bloody mouth and bit the fire eagle that was ferociously attacking. It tore apart the fire eagle. No matter how Linghu Feihua tried to control it, he couldn't condense it again. Fire control wasn't just a test of one's control over the flame. It also tested the strength of the flame itself. Your life flame is too weak. If you want to defeat me in fire control, you'll have to change to another flame. Yi Chunfeng looked at Linghu Feihua, whose face was ashen and whose confidence had suffered a great blow, and said indifferently, "Good, good, good. Then I'll let you experience the power of the purple flower's spiritual fire." Linghu Feihua didn't dare to hold back anymore. If he lost to Yi Chunfeng again, he wouldn't have a chance. Not only would he lose the opportunity to participate in the Sky Hall's competition, but he would also bring shame to the Linghu clan. What's more, Jiao Yuyan, whom he had admired for a long time, was still watching from the side. A very beautiful purple flame that looked like a blooming flower appeared in his palm. The temperature of the air was also increasing because of the appearance of the purple flower's spiritual fire. In order to reverse the situation, Linghu Feihua used his last resort. Mobile reading site, book address. In order to make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support.